All right. My microphone was off, man. Yeah, man, the microphone was off, but we here to have a conversation today, man. What up, Royalty? Early in the morning with it, man. A very important conversation that needs to be touched on, right? And that's what I'm doing. So tap on in. Let's get it. You already know the truth. Let's get to the facts first thing in the morning. Hey, man, this is your daily dose of medication, knowledge and information delivered by no other than King Supreme. Yes, man. Oh man, we got a whole lot to discuss, man. I had a one of my subscribers left me an email, man, a long email, right? And you know, he spoke on some things that I said, well, check it out, man. I think I explained this, man. I've been talking about it for the last 2 weeks, real heavy on my channel. And in this, before we get into that, man, this right here is going to be about why black women are the least married, and how could black women fix that. See, we're not going to just talk about the problems; we'll get to the solution as well. So I'm not here to criticize. Well, I have to criticize in order to build you back up. I'm not here to denigrate black women. I'm here to come up with a simple solution to the problem, right? And you can't fix problems by running from it, man. You just can't do it, right? Now, one of my subscribers said, "What do you have against your own people, right? Why do you criticize foundational Black Americans?" I said, "Man, if you look at my content, I spent the last 3 years uplifting foundational Black Americans, right? But at some point, I got to hold our people accountable and say, hey, man, this is what we can do better. This is what we need to stop doing. We need to stop engaging in these activities. I mean, what's wrong with that?" The thing about this, man, like the FBA conversation is repetitive now, right? It's repetitive, and what you have is a bunch of people just talking about the same things, regurgitating the same talking points. And my thing is this. To you lovely ladies, you know I got a lot of love for y'all, but I gotta be honest with you. The same way that your teacher has to be honest with you, the same way that your coach has to be honest with you, right? uh Telling you what you want to hear every day is not going to help you. It's not going to put you in a better situation at all. Now you have these FBA conversations going on every day where people tap in to hear what's going on with FBA, and it's a beautiful thing because I respect the lineage. But here's the thing though. And this right here is directed towards the ladies. Check this out. What's the point in you listening to somebody talk about Africans and tethers, and like, why do you want to hear about Africans every day? Now, it's cool to understand how Africans think and how they feel about you. That's cool. I think we need to have these conversations to where everybody's up on game about how Africans and foreign blacks feel about us. That's very important. I think we all need to know that, right? But for you as a black woman to sit up there and listen to conversations about tethers every day when you're a struggling single mom, right? Now let's say, check this out. I'm gonna paint a perfect picture. You're a struggling single mom, right? And you don't have a husband. You're struggling with your bills. You're struggling to raise your children. Why do you want to hear about tethers and Africans every day when literally you are struggling as a single mom? One of the biggest problems in your life is you don't have stability. You don't have a husband. You don't have a man helping you with those children. So if you struggle as a single mom day to day, why do you want to hear about Africans? Africans don't affect your life like that. Your biggest problems comes from your bad decisions. Your bad decision making is where all your problems come from. So with that being a fact, why listen to conversations about Africans? Africans don't affect your day-to-day life, right? More than likely, an African didn't make you a single mom. Matter of fact, you became a single mom because of the poor choices that you made. So what I'm saying is, why talk about something that doesn't affect your life? Why waste time talking about that when you're struggling to pay bills and you don't have a man? You need a husband. You need a father figure for your children. But when I bring these conversations to the forefront, you don't want to hear it. You called it gender war content, right? Hit the like button if you haven't already, man. I appreciate everybody who respect the work that I do over here, man. Hold on one second. Yeah, I appreciate everybody that respect the work that I do over here, man. I appreciate everybody that support this good old work that I do over here. That's like me. I'm gonna use myself. I'm gonna use myself as an example as well. If I'm struggling to pay my bills, right, or if I'm struggling to raise my children, and a lot of that comes from the bad choices that I made, terrible decision making, right? So why do I want to hear about some African tethers every day when I'm struggling in my day-to-day life? What does that do to what does that do for me? Seriously, like what does it do for me? It's feel good medicine, right? I understand that people want to feel good. Sometimes people just want to escape their problems and talk about something else. I get it. But ignoring something that affects you in a negative way day to day is crazy. It's counterproductive. Anyway, man, we're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna get into this saying Africans don't affect our lives as being disingenuous. Okay, well, how do Africans and Caribbeans affect your life, Jay Daniels? Um, Let me ask you a question, Jay Daniels. And I want to ask most of my people the same question. I'm a foundational Black American, so don't come up in here saying, "Oh, you must be a tether," and just the dumbest stuff I've ever heard. Are Black women single mothers because of Africans and tethers? Did an African and tethered? Let me say this: are Black women struggling to find men because of Africans and tethers? Huh? Simple question. Are most Black men incarcerated because of Africans and tethers? Are most Black women struggling financially because of Africans and tethers? Are Black men struggling? Can we say most Black men are struggling because of Africans and tethers? Serious question, Jay Daniels. If Black women are the least married group in America, can we blame that on tethers? If Black women have the most college debt in this country, can we blame that on tethers? If Black women struggle with their weight, is that because of tethers? Huh? If Black women can't get along with their men, do we blame that on tethers? You know what I'm saying? Do Black women have this negative stigma in America because of tethers? I mean, serious question. If Black children are struggling to read at a high level, do we blame that on tethers? If the incarceration rates are high for Black men, do we blame it on tethers? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not saying that we can't discuss these issues that we have with foreign Black people, but let's be real. Most of our problems stem from our bad decision making. They don't come from no damn tethers. So if you a single mom that's struggling to pay your bills, if you a single mom that's struggling to raise your children, if you a single mom with no husband, why the hell do you give a damn about why the hell do you care about some damn tether when none of that stuff affects your life on a day-to-day basis? Keep in mind, I'm not saying that you can't talk about it, but why focus on something that doesn't affect your day-to-day life? I'm just saying. Now, Jay Daniels, I just asked you a question and I'm waiting on an answer. Hopefully, Jay Daniels can give me a simple answer to the questions that I just asked him. Hopefully, he has an answer. Right? You got laid off. Listen, man. Let's get into the conversation. Shout out to the media, man. See, this is the thing, man. When I ask serious questions, They never have an answer. I get it, man. Talking about Africans and tethers every day makes you feel good, right? Because it takes the spotlight off of you and what you need to be doing to self-improve as a person, as an individual. It takes the spotlight off of that, and then you get to tap into something that, like I said, takes the energy and focus off of you. If you a single mom that's struggling every day, why in the hell do you want to hear about some damn tethers? Why do you want to hear somebody talk about tethers for 2 to 3 hours when the problems in your life comes from your own bad decision making? So at some point, you got to look at yourself in the mirror and take accountability and say, what do I need to fix? How can I be better as a person? Because let me tell you something, talking about tethers every day ain't going to change the fact that you're a struggling single mom. Talking about tethers every day ain't going to make a black man come wife you up. That's all I'm saying. Let's take it a step further. I'm not saying that you can't talk about that, but at what point do you focus on the things that really affect your life in a negative way? When do you focus on that?
Absolutely refuse to date outside of our race.
Black women have been trying to marry white men, but they're not listening. So black women, you need to ask white men, what do you need to do and or change in order to be?
Nobody has an answer for that. All you can do is filibuster and just bring word salad. There's nothing you could say that's going to defeat that. We already know that most black people, we already know that our problems don't come from tethers like that. Most of our problems stems from our bad decision making.
Suitable for marriage and not just dating, because that's getting you nowhere.
As if it's some blemish on the character of black women. Did y'all ever think that black women are the least married because we're the most loyal? We just seem to absolutely refuse to date outside of our race.
In order for you guys to say that you're just simply race loyal to black men, then you have to be wanted at a higher rate from other races of men. Is that happening? No. But what is happening is black women expressing their love and their admiration for non-black men, specifically white men. You can see this all on TikTok. You can see it on Instagram. Every month, a black woman goes viral for expressing their love for white men in particular.
I've never seen an unhappy black woman with a fine-ass white man. I've never seen it. And we could talk about it more. Because the ones that be happy as hell with their white man, they be getting everything that they want. And that's going to be me next.
Well, do you know that only 3% of white men wife up black women? Let me say this to you guys, man. Only 3% of white men wife up black women. Now, here's the excuse, right? Well, that's because we're just so race loyal. No, it's not. The white man has his pick of the litter. The white man made the white woman the standard of beauty, not you. So don't make it seem like you can get married to white men in higher numbers if you chose to be with the white man. That's not the case, because studies show when white men get married, for the most part, it's going to be a white woman, an Asian woman, or a Latino woman. The black woman is their last option. So stop trying to make it seem like marriage race wouldn't. Stop trying to make it seem like marriage race will like it will increase if black women just decided to. Oh, well, we'll just take on white men. Well, it's not your choice. Men control marriage, not women. So it's foolish to say that. Well, if we wasn't race loyal, we could get married to white men in higher race. No, men control marriage at the end of the day. And white men pick and choose who they get married to. Only 3% of white men marry black women. So I don't know what makes these women think that it's up to them. Like at the flip of a light switch, they can get married to white men in higher numbers if they just chose to. Keep in mind, people, men control marriage.
Happily in love, living a life, they man spoiling them. They just over there. Where the white men at? That they want. Women with a fine ass white man. I've never seen it. And we could talk about it more. Because the ones that be happy as hell with their white man, they be getting everything that they want. And that's gonna be me next. Happily in love, living a life, they man spoiling them. They just over there. Where the white man?
You think a white man wants your ghetto ass? If I was a white man, I wouldn't want a black woman like this. This is the last type of black woman that I would want if I was a white man. Like, damn.
I'm at the point where I'm sick of you niggas. Like, I am. Y'all give nothing no more. So I'm dating out of my comfort zone now, and I'm gonna get me a Caucasian man. So where y'all at?
Fully aware that I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I am so effing tired of the amount of emotional labor that comes with dating black men. I am so tired of the lack of commitment, the lack of support, the lack of encouragement.
And let me say this too, right? White men ain't stupid, right? You women already got children. Why would a white man wife up a black woman that's coming to the table with a black man, with a black man's child or a black man's children? That doesn't make sense. If I'm a white man, I'm gonna get me a fresh black woman with no children. I'm not gonna play stepdaddy to black kids as a white man. That's dumb. That's the dumbest thing that a white man can do. If I'm a white man that's really interested in a black woman, I'm gonna get me something fresh with no kids. I'm not gonna get leftovers. A woman who's been with several black men, now she want to try something new. Now she's looking for a white man to rescue her. White men have figured out the game.
The lack of money, I don't know what to do from this point on, but I can tell you one thing. My interest in dating another black man is 1% at this point. They want us to be ride or dies until they get their shit together, and then they don't want to support us in return. They don't want to commit to us. They don't want to marry us, but then they want all the benefits of being a husband without actually proposing to us. I need someone who's intentional in every single aspect.
Black men, y'all need to do better. Y'all really need to do.
She said she don't want to give you the benefits of a husband. Well, you already got children, sweetie. You done already gave several men your body. You done already gave men the benefits, the husband benefits, right? You're a single mom now. And the thing about it is this: you don't have the same value that you had before you had children. And that's just the unfortunate reality. You know what I mean? You can't give yourself away and then say what I'm not going to do. I've seen women with 2 and 3 kids saying that I'm not going to have sex until marriage. Why would a man that's looking for a wife wait to have sex with a woman that already had children with another man? It's like, how delusional are these females? Why would I wait for something that you done already gave another man? I'm gonna wait to marry you, even though you didn't already let a man put children in you. Other men have dumped their DNA and seeds inside of you. But I'm supposed to wait to have sex with a woman that already has children by another man or other men? That is insanity. Listen, this mentality is keeping black women unmarried and single. It's a self-inflicted wound. They have no one else to blame but themselves.
They don't want to marry us, but then they want all the benefits of being a husband without actually proposing to us. I need someone who's intentional in every single aspect.
Black men, y'all need to do better. Y'all really need to do better. There is no reason why I should have a white man, a 6'2", 220, white collar, blue jeans, and white sneakers wearing white man sit right in my face, look me dead in my eyes, didn't blink or stutter not nail one time, and tell me that he cannot understand for the life of him how a black man who looks homeless has the audacity or the courage to approach a black woman. And he didn't just say a black woman. He said a fine, good-looking black woman. Huh? He said if he had that type of courage, if he looked like that, I couldn't even be mad at him. I couldn't even defend my brothers. Brother? It's true, the audacity of some of these black men coming up to beautiful looking black women looking like bums. Y'all are embarrassing. Y'all are embarrassing yourselves. Get it together.
But white men are listening to you guys. You guys are helping them grow their platform, and they're turning the other way, marrying their own women, which is what most people do. And then they'll go straight.
Jay Daniels, man, we're gonna get into this clip. I'm looking for Jay Daniels. Jay Daniels, listen, man, I'm waiting on your answer. And I rock with you. Ain't no smoke, we good, man. But listen, man, when I said are tethers stopping black women from getting married? Do we blame tethers for black women having the lowest marriage rate? Do we blame tethers for black women filing for divorce at the highest rate? Do we blame tethers for black women aborting their babies at the highest rate? I mean, serious question. Do we blame tethers for having the most student loan debt? I mean, do we blame tethers for all of these things? See, the bigger picture is this. What I'm saying is most of black women's problems come from their bad decision making. It ain't got nothing to do with no Africans and tethers. So why focus on Africans and tethers when most of your problems stem from the bad decisions you made? See, Jay Daniels can't answer that. Why? Because he don't have an answer for that. There's nothing he could say that will destroy my argument. There's literally nothing he could say. All he can say is, you know what, Red, that makes sense. Most of black people problems stems from the bad decisions that we made. That's all he can say. That's the only logical explanation. Why you think Jay Daniels ain't never gave me no answer? I think we all know why. I think we know why.
Straight to the Hispanics, and they'll go to Asian women. That's how the hierarchy goes. White men marry their women at over an 80% clip. Then they go to Hispanics, then Asians.
Hear this out right here. Medium Man is getting ready to break down the marriage rates, right? He's going to break it down. I'm going to be quiet, but I had to ask Jay Daniels the question, and he never gave me an answer. Why talk about tethers all day when most of your problems stem from your own bad decision making? Tethers ain't the reason that you abort your babies at the highest rate. They're not. Tethers ain't the reason that you a single mom. Tethers ain't the reason that you don't have a husband. Tethers ain't the reason that you are struggling financially. So with that being the case, why do you want to wake up every day talking about something that doesn't affect your life day to day? That's crazy to me. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that we can't talk about it, but why talk about it all the time when you got bigger fish to fry?
To you guys are helping them grow their platform, and they're turning the other way, marrying their own women, which is what most people do. And then they'll go straight to the Hispanics, and they'll go to Asian women. That's how the hierarchy goes. White men marry their women at over an 80% clip. Then they go to Hispanics, then Asians, and then they go to black women at the lowest rate. So let me be clear to the black women that keep pushing this word, just race loyal to black men. Married white men only marry black women at a 0.5% clip. Married black women are only married to white men at a 6.5% clip. So put that into perspective, and I hope you guys understand. White men have a larger population. So if they have a larger population, then that would assume that there's more white men to marry black women. But they're not doing that. It's at 0.5%. And I understand black women, that you'll go on TikTok and you'll see a white man spoiling a black woman, a beautiful black woman, right? This is the avatar of black women's dreams. They'll see this white man, older white man, spoiling some young black woman, married. She going to the store shopping, and then you'll log into Instagram and you'll see the same thing. And those white men are saying, yeah, I love black women. You know, I married a black woman. They're doing everything great, which is perfectly fine. However, black women need to start asking those white men, do you have any friends? Because as of now, white men are not marrying black women like that. But on social media, it may look like that because you got 2 or 3 couples that are, white man, black woman, and you guys idolize them. And that's okay. But your gripe, black women, is not with black men. Black men have nothing to do with this. Your gripe or complaints should be with white men or non-black men. Don't even bring us into it, because it has nothing to do with us. If your desire is to marry outside of your race, then you need to start going to the source. Don't go to black platforms and talk directly to black men and be like, hey, yeah, we gonna marry white men or we gonna date white men. Don't tell us, tell them. Tell white men what you're trying to do, because if y'all are so race loyal, and I'm saying that that's not true, and there's an abundance of black women that want to date and or marry out of their race.
Well, a lot of people are pissed off with me right now, Monique Robinson. You know, a lot of black people are pissed off with me right now because they think that I have a problem with my people when I'm just trying to bring more common sense to the light. You know, it's like, what's the purpose of talking about tethers every day, man? When you look at what's going on, you say, well, damn, we got way too many problems to be talking about tethers every damn day. You know what I mean? A lot of black people are struggling financially, struggling to raise their children, and a long list of other issues. So with that being said, it's like, why do I want to talk about tethers every single day when we have personal problems in our lives that needs to be fixed? Most black people that get up to talk about that, I understand it's a new hustle on YouTube. It's a hustle on YouTube to talk about Africans and Haitians every day. And that's a hustle in our community. So you got people that talk about it every day because they know black people want to hear that, right? And the thing is this, it's like they say, well, this content is divisive. Well, they can say the same thing about FBA content. They can say that's divisive, even though some of it is good, but some of it is bad. Same thing with so-called red pill content. There's positive aspects of it and there's negative aspects of it, but that's everything.
And white men should be beating down the door trying to get those said marriageable black women, right? So ask them, why haven't they done that yet? Because this has been going on for years. Black women have been trying to marry white men, but they're not listening. So black women, you need to ask white men, what do you need to do and or change in order to be suitable for marriage and not just dating? Because that's getting you.
If black women are the least married, right? Why do we need to have conversations about African tethers every day? Now I can see if we spoke on it once a week, you know, just to shed some light on the situation, to spread some awareness. I get that. But if black women are in last place when it comes to marriage, what's the purpose of talking about that when we have bigger fish to fry? I mean, that's all I'm saying. See, black people are mad at me for telling the damn truth. They can't tell you what I lied about. They just don't like the fact that I talk about things that they choose not to talk about. Right? So the thing is this. They say, oh, well, gender war content. Well, people could easily say that talking about tethers every day is divisive. That's separating black people. The same way that you may say that this content separates black men from black women. How can I separate something that's already separated? If the black woman is the least married, my content ain't causing a problem. I'm just addressing the damn issue. My content never caused any black people to get divorced. My content ain't never caused no black woman to be a single mother. My content has never caused a black woman to go in debt. So let's really think about what's being said here. My content ain't caused none of the problems that you have in your personal life.
Nowhere. Between the years 2015 to 2019, listen to this, black women, you all have had 1 million more children than black men during that time span. Okay? So you guys are hooking up with non-black men. You are having babies by non-black men, but they're not marrying you. And that's where you guys need to start asking questions. And if this sounds like I'm giving you advice, I am.
I don't think I really know any other women who just are
The views are low because you got people who want to cancel me. Monique Robinson, you already know. You watch YouTube like I watch YouTube. When I used to make FBA content every day, you know how high my numbers was? I used to get 1,000 people in the live chat, 800, 900, 700. The views are low because I got tired of talking about tethers and immigrants every day. I mean, I did that content. I don't want to keep making the same content that I was making in 2025 and 2024. I've already made that content. It's like Then you might say, well, why make this content? Because it's still a problem. It's still a problem. It'd be one thing if the black community was healed and fixed, and I would have no reason to have these conversations right here, right? But when you look at the fact that when you look at everything that we're talking about in today's stream, it's still a major problem in our community. We can't afford to ignore it. See, when it comes to Africans and tethers, like I say, I'm not saying that you can't talk about it, but talking about it every day does nothing for you in your personal life, right? Talking about tethers every day ain't going to make black women more desirable when it comes to marriage. Talking about tethers every day ain't going to stop black women from becoming single moms. Talking about tethers every day it's not going to clean up black women's student loan debt, right? Talking about tethers every day is not going to bring you a husband. So you hop online and talk about tethers every day, and you go right back to your regular life to deal with the same problems that you've been dealing with for years. All I'm saying is, why not talk about something that affects your life day to day?
That of course, most people marry within their race. I'm not talking about that. Black women seem to be especially loyal to black men.
It ain't just YouTube, Monique, it's the people, right? You got a lot of people who don't want to hear the truth, so they tell other people to not support my platform, right? That's what they're doing. But the thing about it is, if you really rock with me, can't nobody tell you to stop supporting me if you really rock with me. So those people was never really rocking with the platform in the first place. They want to hear conversations. What they want is an echo chamber. What is the echo chamber? Let's talk about tethers and white supremacy every day. That's cool. We can talk about it sometimes, but I don't want to talk about tethers every single day. It's ridiculous to have those conversations every day, because most of our problems don't come from tethers. Most of our problems, like I said, stems from our own bad decision making. The high incarceration rate for black men ain't because of tethers. The lack of fathers in the black community ain't because of tethers. Black women aborting their babies at the highest rate ain't got nothing to do with no tethers.
Though, and I think it is to the detriment of us getting married for two reasons. One is that there really just is a shortage of black men. It is. And then second of all, I don't think that black culture really lends itself to nurturing black men to grow up, start your career, graduate from college, and start dating intentionally to at some point.
Yes, but the problem is not fixed though, Jay Daniels. You can't ignore a problem that still exists. Like, let me say it again. You can't afford to ignore a problem that still exists. That's like if you go to the doctor right now, Jay Daniels. Come on, Jay Daniels, let's be real. If you went to the doctor, right, and the doctor say, hey, man, you have diabetes. Do you say, oh, I'm not going to talk about that because the doctor told me 5 years ago. He said that 5 years ago. But yes, you still have diabetes today. You can't afford to ignore the fact that you still have diabetes. Black women can't afford to ignore the fact that they're the least married. They can't afford to ignore the fact that they're leading in single motherhood. They can't afford to ignore the fact that they're leading in obesity. As long as the problem exists, you got to talk about it. You got to come up with a solution. You can't afford to ignore a problem that still exists. I mean, make it make sense, Jay Daniels. So what Jay Daniels is saying is, well, they've been talking about it for a long time. Yes, and the problem still ain't got solved. The problem still exists. So with that being a fact, you can't afford to ignore it. If you've been broke for the last 10 years, can you say, well, I can't talk about finances no more because I've been talking about that for the last 20 years. If you're still broke, you got a major problem. You can't afford to ignore the fact that you're still broke. Never mind the fact that it's been going on for 20 years. The problem still exists within your personal life today. So you can't afford to ignore it. But this is what Jay Daniels is saying. Well, we've been having these conversations for a long time. We might as well just ignore it. Never mind the fact that the problem still exists. We should ignore these problems because we've been talking about it for a long time. Never mind the fact that the problem still exists.
In the near future, get a wife.
Black men's first marriage tends to be at age 33. You know where black women's first marriage is? Age 32, right after black men. Okay. But also, there's another statistic. You brought up education. And also, let's talk about the fertility rates. Did you know black women lead in having their children at the youngest ages of all women, to the point of black women who attend college, 40% of y'all already have kids. So do you think that helps or hurts the marriage, likelihood of black women, because they're coming into their first marriage already with children?
I see a lot of women on social media that seem to be like so butthurt in their feelings because men are saying that a woman who has kids does not hold as high of a value in the dating market as a woman who does not have kids. I mean, let's be real, that's a fact. You can't.
If your children are grown, then you all good, Moni. Your children are grown. I'm talking about women with small children that are struggling, unmarried, with no man. What Jay Daniels is saying is, well, we've been talking about it for so long, we need to just ignore it. Never mind the fact that the problem still exists. We'll be better off just ignoring the problem, according to Jay Daniels. Oh, man. Black on black crime is a problem in our community. Do we say, oh, well, you know what? Never mind the fact that the problem still exists. We've been talking about it for the last 40 years. We'll be better off just ignoring it, right? Let's just ignore the problem. Come on, that is a foolish mentality. You can't afford, listen, black people, you can't afford to ignore that problem. You're in no position to ignore these problems.
Cannot, hold the same value after you've successfully procreated as you did before you had kids in tow. That's a fact. Y'all can get out y'all feelings about that. It is what it is. I got a child. I know I don't hold the exact same, market value in the dating world as I did, 10 years ago before I had a child.
Okay.
That's like me saying my family is dysfunctional. Since my family's been dysfunctional for so long, I should sit up there and just ignore it now. Because it's been going on for so long, I'll be better off ignoring the problem. This is what I mean when I say too many of our people operate from emotions and no logic, with no logic. We should stop talking about the issues in our community because they've been going on for so long. Never mind the fact that the problem still exists. We'll be better off ignoring it. Okay, I get your logic, brother.
If not, Brady Bunch it, find some dude that already has kids and you good to go. But don't place it on black men like we the problem.
My bad. I kept calling you, Monique. My bad, Tammy. My bad, Tammy. What I was saying is if your kids are grown, then I'm not talking about, I'm talking about women with like small children that are struggling financially. They can't afford to ignore the fact that they're not married. They can't afford to ignore the fact that they need a man to help them raise them children, their children. Unfortunately, black people are telling other black people we'll be better off ignoring our problems and talk about something that doesn't bother us on a day-to-day basis. That's exactly what they're saying. That's exactly what they're telling you without even saying it. But when you repeat what they're saying, like in so many words, that's exactly what they're saying.
So we let black men play around until they're 40 years old and we think that's okay. So I don't necessarily think, you think black women are any less marriageable than any other woman?
So, and that's subjective. If she's asking, do you think black women are less marriageable than any other race of women? I mean, you can ask the men. Ask non-black men how
you got to ask men, right, that question, because men are the ones that marry women. So you got to ask men, are black women worth marrying? Because the men are the ones that's dealing with them, right? So if you want to know if a black woman is wife material, you got to ask the men. That's the only way you're going to get an honest. That's the only way that you're going to get an honest answer. And the thing about it is this. I talked about open borders, immigration, all of that, right? I got tired of those conversations because I had those conversations for like 2 years. Now the market is oversaturated with people who just want to talk about tethers and Africans while ignoring the problems that we have in our own community. I got sick of that. Every day you look up, you got some new FBA content creator. You got some new FBA content creator talking about tethers and just goofy stuff all day. Most of these guys never talk about what we need to fix. Everything got something to do with an immigrant, a tether, or white supremacy. Every single conversation is about that. No conversations about self-improvement. What could the women do to be more desirable to the men that they want to get married to? They never had those conversations. What could black women do to what solution can we come up with to stop black women from aborting their babies, right? That's never a conversation. Huh? Now, they might talk about finances and a wealth transfer, but then again, that still has something to do with a tether or an immigrant. What could we do in our day-to-day lives that ain't got nothing to do with no immigrant or no tether? What could we do to be better as people? Most of our people are not having those conversations. The conversation is about we're foundational black Americans, you're tethered, and it's the market is oversaturated with that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not hating on nobody. All I'm saying is talking about that every day is not going to fix our problems as black people. It's just not going to fix our problems, bro. Because I promise you, most of our problems don't come from no damn tethers. Most of our problems stem from the bad decisions that we make on a day-to-day basis. I could promise you that.
They view black women. And you can start by reading the Dating Divide book. They'll tell you, or if you don't believe that book, go on Reddit, go on Twitter, and post something like black women want to marry non-black men. And just let the comments flood your system and see how they really think about y'all, because y'all out here giving all.
You regret dating black women. I don't regret dating black women. I got love for black women. That's why I take the time to correct them. Like, how you gonna say you love black women when you never correct them? Well, I know why you guys don't correct them. Well, not you, Jay Daniels. I'm talking about these content creators. They don't correct black female behavior because they don't want to lose their support. And the problem is this: in our community, we have promiscuous women and weak men. Weak men that are too afraid to hold a woman accountable. How could you help the black woman if you won't be honest with her? The black woman is headed down a black woman is driving 100 miles per hour on a dead end road, and you won't tell her, hey, baby girl, you might need to pump your brakes. That is a dead end over there. These brothers won't say nothing. They'll let them crash. As long as the black woman is spending money with them and supporting their platform, they'll let the black woman crash out. And you can't tell me I'm lying. They will sit up there and watch the black woman crash out as long as she's spending their money with them on their platform. The pastors at the black church are the same way. They know a lot of these black women are struggling. They know a lot of these black women are single moms. What did Pastor Jamal Bryant say? He was pissed off that black women wasn't spending money at his congregation no more. These black women are struggling. You see these black women crashing out. Do Pastor Jamal give a damn about black women and their personal issues? Hell no. All he give a damn about is black women spending their money with him. And that's what I mean when I say the content creators are the new pastors. They pacify black women with, let's talk about tethers, so the black woman can ignore the problems that she has in her personal life. So you pander to them every day about tethers. Instead of telling the black woman, this is what she can do to fix her problems. This is how she can avoid bad situations. There's no self-awareness. There's no game. There's no accountability, which is why the black woman can't self-improve, because the content creators are the new pastors. What do? They sell black women feel-good medicine instead of being honest with them.
All this admiration, you're looking at these commercials and calling it corrective promotion by seeing a black woman and a white man married in a Tide commercial or some foolery like that, and y'all swoon. But white men are watching those videos and they're like,
ugh. Brother, ugh. What's that? What's that, brother?
and it's embarrassing because y'all enjoy it. But they're like, man, why they got to do this? Why they got to put biracial families in here?
You're insane if you think that. Everybody has flaws. Everybody has.
Hey, I'm pretty sure you guys agree with that. And I can look at the comments and see that you guys do agree with that. The content creators are the new pastors. They pacify black women by telling them what they want to hear every day. They don't give a damn if black women crash out. As long as black women spend their money with them, that's all they care about. They don't give a damn. They don't care about none of that. Most of these black women that pull up to these black churches are struggling, and most of them don't have a damn husband. But the pastor don't give a damn as long as the black woman spends her money with him. That's all he gives a damn about is money. These content creators know that black women abort their babies at the highest rates. They know that the black woman is the least married, but they won't talk about it. Why? Because they know if they talk about it, it'll piss black women off. So you know what they say? I'll just tell black women what they want to hear so they'll continue to support my platform. These dudes are selfish and they don't give a damn about black women. That's why they pander to them and tell them what they want to hear in the first place. At what point do you tell black women, hold on, sister, that's a dead end road. You might need to pump your brakes. I don't want to see you crash out. They don't tell them that. They'll let the black woman crash out as long as she spends her money with them. The content creators are the new pastors.
Personality traits that may not be the best, for being a wife. Black women don't got those traits in any more prevalence than any other women. And for y'all to think that, you're outside of your mind. So,
okay. So again, that's subjective. So you're going to have to ask men. There's multiple platforms of, dating and relationships that are ran by, non-black men. Y'all need to start hanging out over there. And don't sit there and be silent. Ask them specific questions. What do you need black women to do and or change in order to get married to you all? And see what they say. I'm laughing, but see what they say. You're going to find out very quickly that white men are very much race loyal to their women, just like black men and just like black women.
This conversation is very important. And let me tell you how backwards our people are. If I was talking about tethers and Africans, you know how many black women would be over here supporting this, right? Black women, whether they want to ignore their problems. They want me to talk about tethers and Africans instead of addressing the issue, instead of addressing the things that affects them on a day-to-day basis. If an FBA content creator fired up a live stream right now talking about tethers and Africans, you know how many black women tap in to listen to that? And when the live stream is over, they got to go right back to their regular lives, struggling, no man, no husband, got a lot of debt, probably just got fired from their job. That's backwards. I'm talking about things that affects us on a day-to-day basis, but guess what? They don't want to hear that. They want somebody to pander to them about Africans and tethers when none of that bullshit affects their life on a day-to-day basis. You not having a man is what affects your life on a day-to-day basis. You having children and not being married with no real security is one of your biggest issues. But you want to ignore that. You want to listen to conversations about tethers that ain't got nothing to do with your problems on a day-to-day basis. That's the nonsense that they want to listen to because it makes them feel better. And it's kind of like an alcoholic who drinks to escape their problems. That's exactly what they're doing with social media. Social media is feel-good medicine. None of that stuff helps black women on a day-to-day basis. Listening to one of your favorite content creators talk about tethers ain't helping your day-to-day situations. It's not going to fix your problems.
Okay.
Shout out to him, man. Let's go to the next clip, man. Oh, man. Let's go to the next clip. Lord Jesus, man. It's like even saying this, man, is just like it's a waste of time, really.
Hey loves, it's your girl Dee Dee and welcome back to the channel. So I am back with another reaction.
Unmarried black women in single motherhood, student loan debt, Aborting babies in large numbers is the main problems that we're dealing with, right? But no, we don't need to talk about that. We'll be better off talking about Africans and tethers every day. We'll be better off ignoring our problems and just talk. We'll be better off ignoring our problems and talking about tethers every day. That's the unfortunate reality. I want y'all to listen to these black women, and they're going to break down 10 reasons that keeps black women unmarried and single. Hit the like button, family.
Reaction video. Now, this video comes from a TikToker who asked the question, why is it that black...
When you see these numbers low like this, you know people are pissed off with me. Do I care? No, man. Like I said, I've done a lot of FBA content. I spoke on hip hop. I spoke on an open border situation. I spoke on immigrants, even tethers to a certain extent. I got tired of talking about that, man. If I was pandering to black people, I could have easily, listen, I could have said, you know what, this makes money. I'm getting a lot of views doing that. If I was fake, I would have, you know what, I would still be talking about that every day. When I used to make FBA content for real, I used to get 700, 800, even 1,000 live viewers on my chat consistently. I went live every day, and every day I got at least, on a bad day, listen, on a bad day, I was getting 400 people in the live chat on a bad day. But it's like, why continue to talk about that and ignore? Why would I continue to talk about that every day when we got bigger fish to fry? We got issues in our communities that we need to fix that ain't got nothing to do with no Africans. It ain't got nothing to do with no tethers. I've been there and done that, man. I got tired of talking about immigrants and stuff. Okay, when do we focus on the things that we need to focus on to get better? See, this is the problem. But see, this right here. Listen, man, we got way more fake people than real people, because the real people understand while I'm having this conversation. The fake people want to hear, they want to listen to what's trending. They want to listen to things that don't really matter at the end of the day. Latinos are the fastest growing population in the South. Yes, they are. Not Africans, not Haitians. Latino immigrants are the fastest growing group in the South. And we all know that the Deep South is an FBA stronghold. They're having more babies than black people. They represent the majority of the new homeowners in the South. They have a growing population that's growing rapidly. And the black population is on the decline while their population continues to increase. Do you know that black immigrants only represent 3% of the country? Let me say this again. Do you guys know that African immigrants only represent 3% of the country? Latinos are damn near 20% of the population in this country now. And they're the fastest growing group in the South. But we want to talk about Africans and tethers all day. Just stupid stuff. I'm not saying that it can't be addressed, but why focus on that when that's not your biggest problem? Eventually, the Deep South is going to become a Latino stronghold. Why do I say that? Because they're the fastest growing population. Latinos represent about 20% of the population in this country now. Their numbers have surpassed they have outgrown us. Latinos have outgrown us in this country. When you don't have a family, you don't have a community. So if black women abort the most babies and they're the least married, then you don't have a community. Your numbers will decline. And you're seeing that right now. But these black content creators want to ignore that. They don't want to talk about the fact that African tethers and black foreigners they're only like 2 to 3% of the overall population, and they're getting deported. African tethers represent a very small population in this country, and they're being deported as we speak. The Latinos is going to overpopulate. Listen, do you know that there's damn near 250,000 Latinos in the New Orleans area, the metro area of New Orleans? It's well over 100,000 plus Latinos in that area now, and they're the fastest growing group in the country. They're the fastest growing group in the Deep South. But we want to talk about tethers that only represent 3% of the country, and they're getting deported as we speak. Black people, man, if y'all don't wake up, man, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Black women appear to be undesirable when it comes to marriage. So I'm gonna play a clip.
Okay, if we know that Latinos been flooding the board, why do we talk about African tethers are the least of our worries right now? Yes, you can address it, but why talk about that stupid stuff every day, man? Latinos in North Carolina represent 70% of the new homeowners, and they're the fastest growing population. But you want to wake up every day and talk about Africans? They're only 3% of the damn population. The white man is getting rid of them. They're sending them back to their homeland. I'm gonna be real with you, man. We got a lot of people that's talking about stupid stuff. That stuff might get clicks and views, and people might wake up to watch it, but it's stupid at the end of the day, because those are the least of our problems, man. I promise you it is.
What she had to say, and then also there's this viral list that's going around, or this viral post that's going around pointing out the top 10
I hear you, bro. I need to be quiet, man, but it disgusts me so much that I continue to chime in, because I never knew that our people can be this slow and this foolish. White people are not gonna let Africans come over here in large numbers. They keep their numbers small on purpose because they don't want the black population to rise. We unalive each other at the highest rates. Black men do. Black women abort their babies at the highest rates. Black women are the least married, right? And it's crazy. Black people, we can't afford to unalive each other. Our population is too low. We can't afford to abort our babies. Our population is too low. If you don't have black families, then you don't have a community. In order to have a community, you need a damn family. And if the overwhelming majority of black women ain't getting married, then you don't have black families. Plain and simple. Tethers are the least of your worries now, because tethers represent only like 2% of the country's population. Latinos, in the meantime, are growing in your backyard. The Deep South is an FBA stronghold. But for how long? How long do you think that the Deep South will be an FBA stronghold when Latinos are the fastest growing population in the Deep South? But we want to talk about Africans and tethers all day while ignoring the bigger problem, while ignoring the main issues. I'm going to be quiet and shut my mouth, man. It's unbelievable.
Hey loves, it's your girl Dee Dee, and welcome back to the channel. So I am back with another reaction video. Now this video comes from a TikToker who asked the question, why is it that black women appear to be undesirable when it comes to marriage? So I'm gonna play a clip of what she had to say, and then also there's this viral list that
you see this clown said that I hate FBA. How do I hate FBA when I'm a foundational black American myself? You see how dumb these people are? They be hopping in my comment section. These people that email me, I hate foundational black Americans, but I made FBA content for like 3-4 years straight. I'm telling FBA we need to focus on our main issues. Tethers are not our main issues. They're only 2% of the population. Latinos are the fastest growing population in the Deep South, which is an FBA stronghold. But you got an idiot to say he hates FBA. You just hate the truth, man. The problem is our people really hate the truth. They don't want to hear the truth. It's not my fault that you got a toxic relationship with the damn truth. Our women are in last place when it comes to marriage, and they abort their babies at the highest rate. That's a major problem. You can't afford to. Black people ain't in no position to ignore those problems. We're unaliving each other in these city streets at the highest rate, and we have the lowest population. We can't afford to ignore our problems. He hates FBA. Because I'm telling you the damn truth. That means that I hate FBA. You're dumb. You're dumb, and that's part of the problem. Stupidity is a sickness, and it's spreading.
That's going around, or this viral post that's going around pointing out the top 10 reasons why black women have the lowest marriage rates. Before we get into the video, make sure you comment, like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload new videos. That is super, super important, you guys. So without any other further ado, let's go ahead and get into
You know what's crazy? If you a foundational Black American and you hold your people accountable, you know what they say? You're a tether. Everybody knows who I am. Nobody knows who he is. He don't have a real profile picture. Nobody even knows who he is. But he says that I'm a tether when everybody knows that's the furthest thing from the truth. All you got to do is speak on issues that needs to be fixed in the community, and they say you a tether because you're holding our people accountable. You're dumb, man. You got a low IQ. You're the reason that white people are running around saying that we have low IQs. It's because of people like you. You're dumb. You're dumb.
The video. Here we go.
This message is for Black women and Black women only. Answer this question. So statistics show that only 26% of Black women will marry in their lifetime from any race. 26% of Black women will marry in their lifetime. My question is, why do you guys think that is? Why do we have such low marital rates? And I'm not talking about Black women marrying Black men. I'm talking about men of all race wanting or desiring to marry a Black woman. Why are we so undesired when it comes to marriage? Now, I know there's percentage who don't want to be married, right? But there's a large percent of women, Black women, who want to be married. But again, why is that the case? Why is that? You know, I think if we start to really sit down and think about why statistics are what they are, they're not there for just any reason, right? There's reasons behind it, and I think that there's a plethora of reasons, and from my opinion, of why I believe that those statistics are what they are and why we are the lowest.
All right, so there you have it. So she asked the question, and I think it's a fair question, and I think it's a question that a lot of Black women should be asking themselves. Why is it that Black women are at the bottom when it comes to marital rates? Why is it that Black women seem to be the least desired when it comes to marriage? And my thing is this: you have to go back. You have to go back to your upbringing. You have to go back to where it all started and what you were taught. And I think people don't want to focus on that because it points to another narrative that a lot of these women were raised by single women. When you are raised by a single mother, you know, who's, you know, she's never been married. She was never taught that, you know, marriage was important. And mind you, I wouldn't say that this is everybody's household, but it is a lot of households that this is happening in. Hell, you have people who've come from 2-parent households and still don't want to get married. So it really just depends.
He said dudes that talk about women. You know how many women I got, you idiot? I'm a real person. You know how many women I got? That's another talking point that he got from Black women. I'm starting to think you a Black woman, right? You know how many men give relationship advice and got a lot of women? That's a weak ass talking point. If you think that I don't have women, you're just stupid. You're dumb. He can't prove. Listen, he said it doesn't make what I'm saying true. Okay, let's get to the facts. Black women are the least married group of women in America. That's a fact. Black women do abort their babies at the highest rates. That's a fact. Black women do file for divorce at the highest rate. Everything that I'm saying is backed up by stats, statistics, stats. There's evidence, there's stats to prove everything that I'm saying. He can't prove that I said anything wrong. But instead, he wants to talk stupid in the comments. Everything that I'm saying is literally backed up with stats, you idiot. If you look up right now, who's the least married group of women in America? It'll say Black women. Who's leading in single motherhood? It's going to say Black women. Who aborts their babies at the highest rates? Black women. Am I saying this because I hate Black women? No, I'm saying it because it's true, you dummy. Your feelings doesn't take away the facts. If anybody want to challenge what I said, look up the stats for yourself. And you're going to say, damn, I might not like it, but damn, what he's saying is actually true. You got Black women right here telling you that it's true. Okay, you know, let me remove myself from the situation. You got a Black woman right here that's a content creator that's telling you the same thing that I'm saying. So if you don't want to hear it from a Black man, why don't you listen to a Black woman that's going to tell you the same thing, you dummy? Check it out. I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to let these Black women tell you everything that I've been saying.
So undesired when it comes to marriage. Now, I know there's percentage who don't want to be married, right? But there's a large percent of women, Black women, who want to be married. But again, why is that the case? Why is that? You know, I think if we start to really sit down and think about why statistics are what they are, they're not there for just for just any reason, right? There's reasons behind it, and I think that there's a plethora of reasons, and from my opinion, of why I believe that those statistics are what they are and why we are the lowest.
All right, so there you have it. So she asked the question, and I think it's a fair question, and I think it's a question that a lot of Black women should be asking themselves. Why is it that Black women are at the bottom when it comes to marital rates? Why is it that Black women seem to be the least desired when it comes to marriage? And my thing is this: you have to go back. You have to go back to your upbringing. You have to go back to where it all started and what you were taught. And I think people don't want to focus on that because it points to another narrative that a lot of these women were raised by single women. When you are raised by a single mother, you know, who's, you know, she's never been married. She was never taught that, you know, marriage was important. And mind you, I wouldn't say that this is everybody's household, but it is a lot of households that this is happening in. Hell, you have people who've come from 2-parent households and still don't want to get married. So it really just depends on partly your upbringing, what was taught to you, and what the importance of it is, or it was for you. If it's something that you look at as an importance, because I know growing up, you know, marriage didn't seem to be a big deal. Marriage was not on anybody's radar. A lot of the young women that I was raised up with weren't taught about marriage. They didn't even think marriage was something that they should aspire to be or have, or they just thought, you know, you get a man, you get a baby, and that's it. Nobody was never really taught that you need to get you a husband and marriage is important and marry before you carry. A lot of the people I was raised with were not taught that. So if you were not raised with those basic morals, you're not going to look at it as anything of any importance. You're not going to look at it as something that you should aspire to do. You're not going to look at it as something that you need for your life, or, you know, something, you know what I mean? So it was not the focal point of growing up, and having a baby wasn't the determining factor. You know, a lot of women just had babies. They didn't think about marriage. It was the norm to go out and have a baby with your boyfriend or whatever, and marriage was not even on the table. In fact, a lot of women, you know, marriage was a second thought. They didn't even think about it. It's like, oh, married, I never thought about that. And then, not even just thinking about it, they were not taught what a wife was to be to a husband. And a lot of the men were not taught what it was to be a husband to a wife. So fast forward, you don't get that teaching. You don't get it. You see other people with it.
Why don't you pull up and have a conversation, you fool? Don't get mad at me for talking about something that's true. Why don't you fix it? If you so FBA, how come you not telling your Black sisters how to fix these problems, you dummy? What's your name? Black Belt Jones. Black Belt Jones. If you care about FBA women so much, how come you're not being honest with them? How you gonna say that you love Black women if you're not even being honest with them about their problems and the things that they need to fix? You're an idiot. You want to pander to Black women to get their money. Like I say, the content creators have become the new pastors. They tell Black women every day they tell Black women what they want to hear instead of telling Black women what they need to hear. Talking about tethers every day ain't gonna change the fact that Black women are the least married. Talking about tethers every day ain't gonna change the fact that Black women abort the most babies. Latinos are the fastest growing group in the Deep South. Do you know in the Deep South that more Black people are dying compared to Black people being born, and Latinos are overpopulating? They're the fastest growing population. They're having more babies while more Black women abort their babies. But of course, you don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear the truth. You want to pander to these women to make them feel good while they lose in the process. You're an idiot.
And you want it, but you have not one clue of how to get it and how to maintain it. I do think it basically comes from a lack of training in that area and not being taught. And so it's not a big deal until it is. So there's this.
When you got bad grades in school, did your mother talk about it, or did she ignore it? Did she say, hey, son, or hey, baby girl, we need to have a talk. You're getting bad grades. A real parent will sit you down and have the conversation about why you're getting bad grades, right? Now, if they don't care, they're not going to say anything. So that's exactly what a lot of brothers are doing in these spaces with these microphones. What they're doing is They're ignoring the fact that black women are losing in many areas. They don't want to talk about it because they're too afraid to piss the women off. So, like I said, the content creators are the new pastors. As long as black women pull up to support their platforms, they don't give a damn about telling black women the truth about their problems. They don't care. All they give a damn about is black women spending their money, just like the pastors at church. They don't give a damn. They don't give a damn about the fact that black women had the lowest marriage rates. They don't give a damn about the fact that black women abort their babies. They don't give a damn about the fact that black women are struggling single mothers in large numbers. They don't give a damn about telling black women the truth. All they care about is black women spending that money with them at the black church or on these social media platforms. I promise you. Anybody who claims to care about you, but they never tell you the truth about the things you need to fix, they don't give a damn. They're just pandering to you to get your money. And if you can't see that, then you're just stuck on stupidity. Let me see who we got up in here, man. HVAC man, I don't know, man.
Post that's been going around. It gives the top 10 reasons why black women have the lowest marital rates. And I'm going to read from this list for you guys. And I want to get your thoughts on this one. So the list is going viral. And it says top 10 reasons why black women have the lowest marriage rates. Now, number 1, nasty attitudes and disposition, which we do see a lot of that. Once again, a lot of that comes from how you were raised, the environment you were raised in. I see a lot of parents who have the attitude and the children has the attitude. They learn from their mama and they repeat that cycle. So nasty attitudes and disposition could definitely be a turnoff as to why men don't choose those types of women for marriage. Number 2 says uncooperative and opposed to leadership. That makes plenty of sense because a lot of women who have seen their mothers run the household, they don't understand how to cooperate with a man. They don't understand leadership because all they've seen was their mother's lead. She was the only person there. So they see
black women understand leadership. And I'm going to tell you why they do understand leadership. They don't like black male leadership. When they go to their jobs, they listen to their white boss. They're not combative with their white boss. They go to work and fall in line with the leadership there, right? Black women have a problem with black male leadership because most of them didn't grow up with fathers. And some of them who did have fathers, they had weak fathers who never corrected their mother's behavior. So let's be loud and clear. Black women don't have a problem with leadership. They have a problem with black male leadership. Black women don't go to their jobs and they don't go to their jobs to be combative with their white boss. They fall in line. So no, I disagree with that. They don't have a problem with leadership. They have a problem with black male leadership.
her running the household, doing everything. So they believe and feel that that's how they should move as well. So they don't understand how to work with a man because they didn't see a man around, or they don't know, you know, what that looks like. So yeah, I think a lot of women are have become the men. Honestly, they're the man, they're the woman, they're the mother, they're the father. You let them tell it. That's really sometimes all they know. And, you know, I think sometimes you can become a victim of your environment. You can't really fault a person for that because they had no control in that. But what you can control, you can control the choices that you make now that you know better. So once you've been given better information, then it's up to you to use it and do something differently. You can't.
I want to see more of you brothers appreciate the work, because I'm speaking for black people in general, but to black men specifically. And black women can learn a lot from these conversations if they take heed to the information. So I need more of you brothers to support the work, because if brothers ain't supporting these shows, then you're no better than the people we're talking about. I'm speaking as a black man for black men. And I'm speaking directly to black women so that they can take a deeper look at themselves to fix the problem. The solution is always simple. It's not that hard. Black women can't afford to ignore their issues. But this is the reality. They flock to these channels that talk about things that ain't got nothing to do with their personal problems. African tethers ain't causing the problems in your day-to-day life. Your bad decision making has caused the problems that you're dealing with in your personal life. But most of these so-called conscious brothers avoid holding black women accountable for the things that they're doing wrong, which is why they can't self-improve.
continue to make excuses for what your mama did and what your grandmama did and all of that, because they may not have known any better. But now you have access to ways to get yourself to a better.
Let me bring up Black Belt Jones. Black Belt Jones, man. Come on, man. What it is, man.
Yo, boy. You hear me all right?
I can hear you all right, loud and clear.
Yeah, my issue with you ain't really about your statistics and all that, but you do a lot of complaining about women, but you ain't coming up with solutions. We both understand that a lot of women are stuck in the mindset. A lot of women have mindset issues that they have to change. The issue is now, if we know that they're lost, the older ones, if we know that they're lost, our job is to get to the younger women. Just like I have to teach my daughters differently. The women who come to my self-defense classes, I talk to them differently. It ain't about pandering. You hold them accountable every time something goes wrong. You let them understand the difference of what's going to work with a man and what's not going to work. Either they going to be with the program or not be with the program. And then if they're not going to be with the program, you leave them alone. Like the women that a lot of women that you talk about, the undesirables, let them go. We deal with the women that there are plenty of women that want to be desired, that want to pair bond with a man, that want to be cooperative with a man, that are feminine. I can go to the hood right now in West Philly and go to a bar, all ghetto ratchet nonsense. If you don't want to be around that, you choose not to be around that. Do you agree or not?
I mean, it seems like you're not listening to what I'm saying. I told black men, this is the reason why listen, okay, you said all of that, and I'm going to tell you this. Don't you understand that's why a lot of black women ain't getting married? Because black men are choosing to leave the majority of them alone? I mean, don't it make sense? They're choosing to leave them alone. So that's exactly what they're doing.
Not a lot of all the black men I know want to be with black men that are married to want to be with black women. The thing about it, they want to. You're talking about a percentage. I don't know the actual percentage. A lot of black women, black men that I know, they want to be. We want to naturally want to be with our own. But yes, we have a lot of undesirables and women who are combative and these things. But now you have to redirect. You're a man. We're taught to adapt. We're not taught to stay stagnant. No, we're taught to adapt. Okay, if I know I can't go over this side to find the woman that I want, maybe I need to look elsewhere. Oh, here they go over here.
All right, brother. Okay. So what you're saying is, and I've been telling black men the same thing. If they don't fall in line, leave them alone.
I agree.
There's a simple solution, bro. Listen, when people say what's the solution, they're being disingenuous. A fat person knows they need to lose weight. It's not like the fat person is clueless about what the solution is. The solution is to eat better and exercise. The problem is they don't have the discipline to do it. A cigarette smoker is told, hey, man, if you don't want your lungs to collapse, you need to quit smoking cigarettes. They know what the solution is. They don't have the discipline to do it. A crackhead understands that smoking crack is bad, but guess what? He's addicted to it, so he can't change his ways. A lot of these black women know this. Them I'm saying this. A lot of black women know what the problem is, but they've been programmed to be a certain way. And unfortunately, we're creatures of habit. They know that black men complain about their attitudes. They know that black men of means, black men that have money, they don't want to wipe up single moms. They know this, right? But due to their bad habits, due to them being programmed and conditioned to be this way, it's hard for them to break the chains. It's hard for them to break the mental shackles. So don't get it twisted for 1 second. Everybody knows what the solution is. Only a small percentage of people have the discipline to execute the game plan.
Now, I agree with you partly on that, but I also have the understanding we both know the nature of a woman. A woman will do and go above and beyond for the man that they want. That's the reason why you're like, how are you staying with this guy? He treating you so bad. For the guy that she wants, she will bend over backwards for. A lot of males is that you may want that woman, but she don't want you. How do you handle being turned down? A lot of these dudes, let's not forget, they being raised by a single mom. They didn't learn how to have the emotional intelligence to be able to keep moving forward. Some of these dudes take rejection badly. Some dudes take rejection and can't get a woman badly. And it turns into anger. Then it turns into, I'm going to use my money as a weapon. So also the black males, a lot of them that can't get men with being able to talk, being able to have game. Because a woman would choose. Just because you choose her don't mean she going to choose you. A woman has a desire level. If she desire, I want him. She's gonna do whatever and be
All right.
submissive to that man.
Bro, let me tell you something. Men handle rejection way better than women.
I agree.
Because let's just be real about that. Men holler at women. We pursue women. You know how many times men get told no? Even a pimp that pursues a woman to work for him. You know how many women say no compared to the women that say yes? So men are conditioned to handle rejection better than women. I'm just got to be real.
I feel you.
bro.
I would say most part men, but a lot of men don't. A lot of men don't know how to handle rejection because a lot of these dudes are real soft and moist and get into actual arguments with women and then start putting their hands on them. So a lot of men don't have that.
All right. This is what I'm gonna tell you. We already know that men handle rejection better than women. The majority of men ain't going to jail for putting their hands on women. The majority of black men ain't going to jail for that. You're speaking about a small percentage of black men that put their hands on women due to rejection. Now you're speaking about you're speaking to a small minority of black men.
Then you tell me the percentage of all these dudes now are super comfortable with dating online because they can't come out here and get it shaken in the real world. All these dudes out here can't wait to get on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever and jump in inboxes. It's way easier to talk to a woman in her inbox to come out here and put your feet to the pavement and show your game. So no, there's a lot of dudes are weak. Most women are what?
Bro, this is the thing. A lot of women don't want men approaching them like that. So what men have done is they adjusted to the climate and what's going on now. Now, if men cold approach women, you know what they're gonna say? You're harassing me, you're stalking me. Let's be real. Most of these women that come online talking, they don't want men doing that. You know how many men got fired from their job just for giving a woman a compliment at work? So if I got to risk getting fired at my job for giving you a compliment, and I'm not even approaching you in an aggressive manner, there's tons of men of all races that's been fired just for giving a woman a compliment at the job. So with that being said, they like, hey man, I'm gonna sit up there and approach. I'm gonna take a whole nother angle when it comes to approaching you. I don't want to risk my job. I don't want you saying that I'm sexually harassing you. So that plays a part as well.
Now, a man has to take accountability. Number one, you talking to women at your job. What are you doing that for anyway? I guess I say that because I've been in law enforcement. You talking to a woman at your job. Number one, there's tact and there's a way to do a thing. You doing it in a way that you don't know that woman. That's your fault. That's your fault. You wait until you get out of the job to talk to the woman. Women. You're saying most women. What I'm telling you right now is that I speak to a lot of women. I'm downtown with it.
Most women sleep with men that they work with, bro. So that's bullshit. I'm gonna tell you why. Most women, they sleep with men that they're familiar with, a guy that they see at the job, a guy that they see at the gym. So let's be real. It's not that they're uncomfortable. See, listen, if a man say this, it's your approach is not wrong. If a woman don't like you, she'll complain about the way that you approached her. But if she does like you, she'll accept your invitation. So the women are full of crap, and you know it.
No, man, no. You got to be accountable for how you.
No, hold on. This is what I'm saying. This ain't no. The same thing that they'll accept from one man is and they'll deem it as disrespectful from a man that they're not attracted to. So women pick and choose who they want to holler at them.
I just said that.
No, I know. What I'm saying is this: that makes them full of shit. Don't say that he's disrespecting you because you're not attracted to him. The man that you are attracted to came at you in the same manner. The approach was similar. They came at you the same way. You cried sexual harassment because you wasn't attracted to this man. The man that you are attracted to told you had a nice butt, and you know the whole thing was based on sexual attraction. You didn't have a problem with it because you was attracted to this guy. So that makes you full of shit because you're picking and choosing who you want to report.
No, you as a man, you have to take accountability.
I'm gonna pass it to you. I'm gonna pass it back to you. No. If the approach was wrong for one guy, then the approach is wrong for the other guy because it was the same approach. You just don't like this man, so you deem it as sexual harassment. You do like this man, so you accept the invitation. That proves that women are full of crap. It does. You got the flow?
No, it proves what I just said. Women do what they want to do for the man that they like. If you're not him, fall back. This is what you need to understand as a man. I may not be him for her. I may not, just because one man can do something that you can do, that's his right. And some women probably treat you differently than they treat other dudes.
That's nonsense.
No,
That's
man, it's
nonsense.
not. It's
Don't
real
report
life.
him. No. I'm gonna tell you why
Oh, no,
that's
no. The
nonsense.
extreme you
Yes.
took it
How
to,
would you
I
know?
say is
Listen,
bad.
no. Listen, I'm gonna say this, bro. How would you know if you're a woman's type? You have to approach her to know that. All I'm saying is, don't cry sexual harassment from one man, but accept it from another.
All right.
You will never know if a woman likes you until you approached her.
That level
So you
took
have
it
to approach her.
I'll give you that.
All I'm saying is this, bro. You gotta approach the woman to even know if she's rocking with you like that, or if she's even attracted to you. What I'm saying is this: if it's cool for one guy to approach you in this way, don't cry when the next man do it. All she had to do was say, "Hey, man, I'm not interested." Why report me to HR?
That example you gave, I agree with, because you just took it to a whole nother example of, oh, she took it to HR. Number one, how you approach a woman is everything. Because just because I can grab a girl but slap her on the butt and be like, yeah, what's up? How you doing? She's like, stop playing. I ain't stop playing. And then you do it, and then it's HR situation. Yeah, because you ain't me. You ain't me.
See, now you're making this, but now you're making excuses. But now you're making excuses for the female behavior.
You have to
if it's wrong for one, here it is. I gotta put some paint where it ain't. If it's wrong for one person to do it, then it's wrong for the next. That's like saying it's cool for this person to disrespect you, but you are tolerated from this person because you like them a little more. That doesn't make any sense.
It does make sense. Why? Because a white person can't call me.
If it's disrespectful, brother. If it's disrespectful, then it's disrespectful regardless of who it comes from. Period.
If a white person calls me a nigga, it's a different situation than my people's calling me.
Now you're making this a race thing.
No,
now you're making this a race thing.
We're just talking about disrespect. I'm just talking about completely.
I said disrespect is disrespect. It don't matter where the disrespect comes from.
Disrespect comes from a
disrespect is brother. Disrespect is disrespect. It doesn't matter who it comes from, homie.
Listen, man. Women carry that right.
You can't pick and choose what you feel is disrespectful.
Yes,
disrespect is disrespect.
I can choose.
Man,
just like a woman can choose not to be with you and then be with me. That's her choice.
We know that. We know that. We know everything is a choice, but don't pick and choose who you want to listen. Disrespect is disrespect at the end of the day. It don't matter who it's come. See, the thing about it is this, bro. You got a male feminist mentality.
No, I do not.
Because what you're gonna do, what you want to do is this. What you want to do is this. You want to make excuses for hypocrisy, and that's exactly what you're doing.
I take accountability for me. And the boys that's around me, the boys that are you take accountability for how you
don't hold women accountable.
This is what I say.
You don't hold women accountable.
The nature of an animal that you're dealing with.
You don't hold women accountable. You don't.
You have to.
No, you don't.
If I know the nature of this animal, so I know exactly how it's going to react. I know exactly how to approach it. Just like a dog. If I'm a dog trainer, I know how to approach each and every dog, how to do it a certain way. You
don't know that.
You think that you can do anything. You
don't know that. Listen, man, listen, bro. If you see a woman that you like, you don't know how she's gonna respond to the way that you approach her. You don't know that. You're trying to get to know her, so you shoot your shot.
You shoot your shot.
You don't know that she's gonna now. It'd be one thing if you knew the woman personally. Now, once you get to know the woman personally, now you understand what she likes and dislikes. But if you just see the woman and you holler at her, you don't know what type of response you're going to get from her. This is why you're trying to shoot your shot in the first place.
And
you're comparing that. Listen, what makes sense is this. If you knew the woman and how she gets down and what her personality is like, then you understand what she like and dislike. But if I see a woman and I'm attracted to her and I holler at her, I don't know what her response is going to be.
Now, we both agree as men. How you approach a woman and the style you do it, does that matter?
To a certain extent, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Let me
goes
land
back
my
to what I just said. No, hold on. No, I'm gonna tell you what I'm saying. I just gave you an example how two men can approach a woman in the same manner and get different results. Like I said, if she likes you, she won't look at it like you're sexual. She won't look at it like you are sexualizing her if she likes you. Now, if she don't like you, she'll complain about it. Same approach, different results. So the man that she don't like is not wrong because he approached her in the same manner. He approached her with he gave the same approach that the man that she does like did. So the approach was identical. The difference is she just didn't like you and she liked the other guy. But it doesn't mean that your approach was wrong because she don't like you. Because she didn't have a problem with that same approach from another guy. So no, what you didn't do nothing wrong. She just pick and chooses who she wants to disrespect. That's all it is. Same approach, different guy. So the man is not wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. Yes, the woman at the end of the day, she has the right to pick and choose who she wants to give her energy and attention to. That's her right. But what I'm saying is, I've seen men approach women in the same manner, and she will deem one guy as being disrespectful, and the other guy, she'll accept the invitation.
And I agree
That's
with
how
you.
we know that women.
It's not that I disagree with you on that part. What I'm saying, as a man, I know that I can be turned down. I may not be the man for her, so I have to take accountability for how I approach this. If me and you got the same approach to a woman, now we're not talking about no HR, no none of that. Just because she chose me over you, don't make your approach wrong. She don't like you.
We understand that. Nobody's arguing. I just told you, women pick and choose who they want to, who they like.
Right.
They'll take an invitation from one man and reject the other. I understand that. What I'm saying is, women pick and choose, bro. So the men are not wrong. If it's wrong for one man to do it, it should be wrong for any man to do it.
No, you just said
no. Let me tell you, nah, bro. You listen. This is why men can't learn from you, and I'm gonna tell you why they can't learn from you. I gotta mute you for a second. I gotta mute you for a second, brother. I gotta mute you for a second. If a woman disrespects me, right? Let's say I got two women that disrespected me. I'm attracted to one woman that disrespected me, but the woman that I'm not attracted to, she disrespected me as well. I'm not going to tolerate disrespect from a woman just because I'm attracted to her. I'm going to correct her the same way that I corrected the woman that I'm not attracted to, because that's being real. I'm not going to tolerate disrespect from a woman just because I'm attracted to her, but women will tolerate disrespect from the man that they like. And when it comes to the man that they don't like, they find a problem with it. That's reality right there. When you tolerate disrespect from a woman because you're attracted to her, then you a simp, you a beta male, you a cup. But then on the other hand, you go hard on a woman that you're not attracted to, but you tolerate disrespect from the woman that you are attracted to. Let me bring up Virgil Berry. Virgil, you got it, man.
Yeah, Red, what's good with you? What's good with my brother Red and everybody else out there? See, this is why us real ones got to come up here and drop this game for our young brothers, man. And nothing against this guy who up here, but this is a pure example of what we be talking about when we talk about gang goofy Gilligans, man. And I don't mean that with no disrespect whatsoever. I mean that because that's what it is. See, when we have conversations like this, man, we got to understand that a lot of the guys who come up in these spaces talking, a lot of them wasn't raised by men, man. And it'd be so obvious when you dudes talk. No disrespect. This is just what it is. Because I know this is amongst a lot, especially in the spaces right here with us. A lot of us was not raised or put up on game by actual men. So we don't even really have the actual experience, a lot of us, the knowledge to actually speak on what we speaking on for real. And it'd be so obvious when y'all dudes come up here talking that y'all don't. So like even right now with this guy right here, and Red, you hit it on the nail, man. Like, dude, like this is like a male feminist mindset, and we've seen this so many times, especially up here on my brother Red's show. And it just be funny because when y'all start talking, y'all actually kind of get it to an extent, but it's like it's a disconnect somewhere, Red. It's like a disconnect. It's a disconnect. It's like y'all kind of understand the dynamic a little bit though, but since a lot of y'all really ain't been raised by men, like we can see that's the aspect that's what's missing right there. It's that being put up on game by actual men, so you can have that balance. And we see a lot of guys, and mostly we see a very feminine way in how they perceive things and how they convey their thoughts, especially when it comes to interactions between men and women. You know what I'm saying? And it's just very interesting to see in real time, really. I'll just be sitting back just watching. Like,
yeah. Hey, Virgil, and look, you see how I gave him the example and I switched it over to the men. That's like a man tolerating disrespect from a woman because he's attracted to her, but he goes hard on a woman who he's not attracted to, right? That's beta male. Like I'm gonna say the same thing to a man. Like, hold on, you're only tolerating disrespect because you're attracted to her. You a simp.
She look good. Like,
so what he did was make an excuse. Well, since she's attracted to him, she can, yeah. Okay, well, if disrespect is disrespect, it don't matter who it
Disrespect is
comes from.
disrespect.
But what
Disrespect
he
is
did was
disrespect.
says this. He criticized the men. Well, she don't like you, so she has a right to disrespect you, right? That's basically what he said in so many words.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So I've been saying this
Not
to
at
men.
all.
I say this to men all the time. I'm gonna pass the ball back to you. If you're gonna go hard on the ugly woman for disrespecting you, you got to go hard on that pretty bar for disrespecting you as well.
And that's why a lot of these chicks' heads is messed up now, Red, because dudes is doing that. Dudes is sitting here, you know what I'm saying, basically simping out because you attracted to a girl, because you think she pretty, because she looks good, because she looks nice, versus holding her ass accountable for her behavior regardless of how she looks. And see, that's how we know a lot of y'all dudes wasn't raised in a certain way. Because, you know what I'm saying, listen here, I don't care what a bra look like, Red, you gonna respect me. My respect means more to me than any amount of attraction or any amount of good a girl could be looking. You ain't
And
about to
so
sit
many
here.
words, and look, and so many words. He said, "Well, it's different. She's attracted to that man, so she can tolerate his disrespect." Okay, when you become a single mother, and you're dealing with a bad situation, just remember you tolerated the disrespect because you was attracted to the man. You liked something about him, so you overlooked some things. So when the situation goes bad, don't run to the internet saying that black men ain't shit. You tolerated it. You tolerated the same thing. You listen, the same thing that he did, you said it was disrespectful when another man did it. So you can't complain when you get a bad result from the man that you tolerated disrespect from. I didn't say that the man disrespected her. I'm saying what the woman said. You know how women, and I just gave the example. It can be two men with the same approach. If she likes you, she'll say, okay, what's happening? But if she don't like him, she'll say he was sexually harassing her, right? Instead of him saying that women are wrong for that, and we need to put their feet to the fire because at the end of the day, disrespect is disrespect. He said, well, she has a right to pick and choose. We never said that she don't have the right to pick and choose. But don't sit up here and make excuses for disrespect. Disrespect is disrespect. At the end of the day, it don't matter who it comes from.
Right. Because if a girl approaches you who you're not attracted to or isn't your type or whatever, most guys don't talk disrespectful to chicks. If you want to get one of them to say, try to reverse them. If an unattractive chick approaches us, more than likely, we're not going to be disrespectful to her in any form or fashion. Right. So, you know what I'm saying? We'll probably just tell her, like, we're not interested or whatever. But you see, and this is the part of the simping aspect right here, too, because a lot of y'all dudes come to the internet and y'all interacting with all these chicks. A lot of them are attractive. So y'all interacting with them in these digital spaces, which is giving you the digital courage to interact with them and even try to holler at them. These are chicks who most of y'all wouldn't even talk to in real life. But since the fact that y'all can simp so easily digitally, right? It didn't sit up here and blew these girls' heads up. Most of them is average as hell, and they even used to having dudes come and talk to them, not in these type of ways anyway, as how we do online. So now it's this big inflated egos with these chicks. And then you got guys like this brother right here and a lot of more other brothers who sit up here and basically, you know what I'm saying, go along with the BS, you know what I'm saying? Because this is where the inflated attitudes come from. This is where all of this stuff talking about, well, you know what I'm saying, and it's true. Guys, y'all have to get y'all discernment up, but this come from being raised by women. That's crazy. This come from not having no masculinity in your life, not having no man to put you up on game, because you got to know when to approach these chicks, man. I gotta say it's not a most, but a lot of us guys, man, a lot of y'all dudes be shooting shots at chicks that y'all would never holler at in life. But see, that's what I'm saying, Red. This is the aspect of this whole online stuff. So due to the online thing, you ain't got to worry about rejection from a chick like how you got to do in actual real life. You understand what I'm saying? So this is where the level of simping goes to exponential rates, because these dudes can sit up here and simp to thousands of girls all day. Somebody going to end up shooting a shot and gonna score. You know what I'm saying? It's a numbers game. So this is another thing that contributes to the inflation of the attitudes and the egos with the brawls, because y'all dudes ain't used to interacting with chicks in real life. And so we got regular ass chicks come on here who can make themselves look a little bit better than what they actually do. And then y'all dudes be simping. Not to mention y'all was raised by these same chicks before the internet came along. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, Red. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of y'all dudes, y'all really be lacking in certain areas, and it shows through the airwaves online when y'all come in these spaces, expressing y'all's opinions and views towards such things and stuff. It's just obvious to see.
Yeah, and this what I'm gonna do, man. I'm gonna bring up school. All I'm saying is this, man. People say how am I hating on FBA, right? And this is the thing. If black women had the lowest marriage rates, right? I'm not making that up. If they abort their babies at the highest rate, I'm not making that up. It's actually true. If all of these things are true, and I didn't make any of these things up, right? At what point do you discuss the real issues? Like I said, African tethers only represent 2 to 3% of the overall population. That's not your problem. African tethers don't stop you from making progress in the world. I just said it before. Latinos are the fastest growing population in the Deep South. I just did a stream about that the other day. 70% of the new homeowners in North Carolina are Latinos. So what's the point in talking about Africans when Donald Trump is, listen, one thing they ain't gonna never do is let the African immigrant population get big in this country. The white man ain't gonna let that happen. Hell no, he ain't gonna let that happen. He want to put a cap on how many blacks can come over here. And when it comes to the African tethers, they only allow the best of them to even come over here. So what's the purpose of me talking to black women about Africans and tethers every day when they have the lowest marriage rates, they abort their babies the most, they file for divorce at the highest. At what point do we talk about the things that actually affects us on when it comes to our day-to-day lives? Talking about Africans and tethers every day ain't gonna get black women married. It's not gonna change the marriage rates. It's not gonna stop black women from aborting their babies. It is a waste of time. At that point, talking about Africans and tethers ain't nothing but a damn hustle. That's all it is, my brother.
Yeah, man. Hey, Red, that's exactly what it is, man. It's the new digital grift, man, in these spaces, man. Listen here, man. We need to be talking about getting fathers in the home. The number 2 issues in our community is the lack of fathers in the home and the over indoctrination of feminism in the mindset of most of our women and even some of our men. That's our 2 major issues, not white supremacy. We know what white supremacy is. We've been exposed to it for the past 500-600 years over here on our land. We don't need to, it's not I'm saying we don't need to stop discussing it, but we don't need to, if we know what white supremacy is. We know what it is, y'all. We know what it is. It is not a major issue. Right? White supremacy wasn't an issue during our Tulsa times, during our Reconstruction times, when we had our community set up. It wasn't an issue for us. We dealt with white supremacy and we handled it and we learned how to separate ourselves from it. See, that's what the issue is right there, Red. They want to prevent us from doing what we first originally did, what we always do. Nah, we aren't going along with your system. We just want to separate ourselves from it and do our own thing. See, and when we start to do that now we getting all this attack from the other side. Now we getting us focusing on arguing with tethers who make up less than 3%, not even significant enough to even be trying to misconstrue them as being any part of a situation where they prevent us from anything, because they're not, but they're absolutely benefiting from what we've done, and we should hold them accountable for their negative ways that they're going about handling that. But at the same time, man, there ain't no issue. White supremacy is not an issue. You want to know why? Because we've been dealing with it forever. We know it exists. We know what it is. We know what it's not. The biggest issues is us, right? And within, at home,
and you know what? And the thing is this, man. What I tell my people is this, man. Talking about tethers is a hustle on YouTube. It really is, because a lot of these brothers, the content creators, are the new pastors. They pander to black women about African tethers all day while ignoring the problems that we can fix in our own day-to-day lives. That's what they're doing. Jamal Bryant, the pastor, was complaining. You think Jamal Bryant ever said anything about black women being in a position they ain't? No, he's mad that black women ain't spending money at the church no more. It's Donald Trump's fault that black women can't spend their money with me no more.
he fires 300,000 checks for the government, and now the collection plate looking up. You know what I'm saying? And listen here, Red, peep this though, man, because I know you've been paying attention to this, man. And listen, when y'all been tricked into saying that y'all want black male leadership. That sounds good. Just like all that Pan-Africanism, all that goddamn it, Odu Eiffel, all that spiritual, all that stuff sound good though. But when it comes to actual men coming in, actual leading, man, y'all proving that y'all don't want that. Here I am, here Red is, here whoever is doing what they doing, coming in with the black male leadership with honesty, structure, order, discipline, correcting, checking, like how we supposed to. And y'all proving that y'all not ready for it and y'all don't want it because y'all are rejecting it, right? So when we talking about what we talking about now, man, you know what I'm saying? We seeing the evidence that it always reflects on who us, the men, Red. It reflects back on us. And we got so many of our men who are not men. They are indoctrinated with the very mindset that a lot of the females are. And y'all prove it in these online spaces every single day. My brother Red come up here dropping nothing but straight truth. It's nothing but straight, raw, real facts every single day. And we all dudes come up here every day and prove to us why we got such a huge situation in our community and why we got a huge sucker ass talking about Sambo ass, Uncle Tom ass, if you would, situation in our community. Well, and like I say, Red, the two major issues is the lack of actual black fathers in the home and the indoctrination of feminism, and along with the abortion, along with the other things that you talk, the marriage, all of that stuff is directly connected to a domino effect result of feminism.
And look, he said, Mr. Diplomat Swag said marriage is a dead institution. I'm not saying, listen, black women want to be married. They're the ones complaining about marriage. So I'm saying, well, if you're complaining about marriage, there's some things that you need to do better. Maybe you need to go back to the drawing board to see what you're doing wrong. At some point, if you're not being picked, you got to look in the mirror to see what you're doing wrong. And most of these brothers, I hate to say it, most of our FBA brothers, whether they Pan-African or FBA, they're not being honest with black women about why they're not getting married. You know what they're doing over there? They're talking about nonsense. Well, I'm gonna take the Pan-Africans out of this one. I gotta hold my FBA brothers accountable. They're talking about tethers every day. It's like talking about tethers every day ain't gonna change black women's marriage rates. Talking about tethers every day ain't gonna bring black fathers in the home. Talking about tethers every day ain't gonna stop promiscuity in the mindsets of black women. So you're talking about stuff that doesn't even affect black women on a day-to-day basis. If you truly cared about black women, at some point you will be honest with them about why they're not getting married, and they all want to be married. What do black women complain about on the internet? Black men don't want to provide or marry. They don't want to marry us. They don't want to provide. Okay, there's reasons for this, right? But if you never talk to black women about why they're losing, you don't give a damn about them. You're just pandering to them because you know that talking about Africans and tethers is a new hustle, and that's the easiest way to get views and money. You're pandering. You're not helping black women. You're no different than the pastors at the black church. No different. Scoop, where you at? I'm going to bring you back up, Virgil. Scoop, where you at, brother?
Salute, Red. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, salute to the panel. Salute the Verge. Over there cooking.
Salute to you,
work. But man, you hitting it on the head, man. I'm not pandering. I tell you what, my daddies and my uncles were some cold Max, boy. Cold Max. I didn't grow up around this simping and hell no. I learned long time ago. The finer she is, the harder I'm finna go in on her. I'm not finna get no passes because she look good. Care less about that. I don't care if she 140 or 240. They all look the same to me. I got rules. I got standards that you gonna live by. I'm not sitting up here hee-heeing, ha-ha, and cuckooing with you because your weave look good. Give a damn about none of that. I'm a man. I'm a grown man, and you gonna treat me as such. I'm gonna be respected. If you can't respect me, baby, your looks ain't gonna save you. You on your way out the door. Kick rocks and get your heels a-clicking. Period. And that's where we got all this simping from, because these dudes out here caping and catering. Tell her she can act any way she want. She ain't got to show no respect. She's the victim. Oh, these big bad men. These men don't know how to treat you. He should have did this. He should have bought you that. He should have took you here and there. Oh man, these men is something else. You poor women out here, these men are so bad and mistreat you so bad. Man, BS. I'm calling BS on all of that because you get treated how you act. But don't nobody want to talk about that. You got 6 kids and every baby daddy of those kids was wrong. Then what you choosing for? What you was laying up with him for? So when you laid up the first time and still ain't had no husband, you went out and did it again and again and again. And I'm supposed to look at you like some high queen? You ain't getting called no queen, not in my book. You gonna have to go somewhere with that. And then on top of that, you don't want to cooperate. You want to give me a whole bunch of mouth and a whole bunch of problems as though I'm the problem. Baby, you came to me with all this. You got to realize I don't have to accept none of that. And you say, I ain't got to accept you either. Okay, well then kick rocks. Because I'm not going to lose one night of sleep. I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying? One monkey don't stop no show. I'm going to sit up here and get mad because you and your 6 kids decide that I'm not good enough for you as though I got to prove something to you. You done already ruined your life. I didn't ruin mine. You the one with all the baggage and all the bills. You looking for somebody to help you with them kids. You looking for somebody to help you get yourself back on your feet. So why should it be me and you coming acting a fool? You don't know how to humble yourself. So I'm not the simp. I'm not the one, never have been a simp. And I've had plenty of them. Trust you me, I done ran from some of them and they was fine as hell. And that's when I found out when you run from them, oh, don't turn a woman down. Don't let her think she's everything and you tell her, no, you not interested. She ready to take your head clean off your body. Women don't handle rejection. So dude sitting up here talking about how men don't handle rejection. Oh, so he fell for that? You let women put you in a trick bag and fall for that. Oh, these men don't know how to handle rejection. I can't go have a good time at the club or restaurant because I'm so fine. And when men see me and they're not up to par in my standards and I tell them no, they want to attack me and hurt me. Man, once again, I call BS. Why would a man, you know how many women there is out there? Women outnumber men. It's easy for a man to say, okay, fine, I'll go get me another one. This baby girl around the corner even look better than you. And she ain't got no kids. It's women who don't know how to take rejection. And I can understand when you got 3, 4 kids, you don't want to be rejected because you thinking this sucker gonna take care of you. Ain't no sucker running through my blood. I'm a Cali ninja. I don't get down like that. Low bottoms born and raised. I would never talk to tolerate disrespect. I don't care how nice she look, how cute her face is, or how big the booty is. I'm not tolerating no disrespect. You either get on my program or you can get on. And that goes for you even if you ain't got no kids, Red and Birds. I don't play that game, man. Respect, and if more than us brothers out here start demanding respect, they'll start changing that mess, or they're gonna start hooking up with each other. That's the only choice
like
they got.
Hey, like I said, when everything fails with a real man, they'll settle for a pretend man. Look at Portia Williams from Housewives of ATL. She couldn't make it work with a real man, so she married a woman. Look at Niecy Nash. She couldn't make it work with a real man, so she married a woman.
hey, go on and handle that. But with me, I got standards from the gate. The gate. No, you ain't gonna be loud talking me. No, you ain't gonna over talk me. And one thing that a lot of women, especially black women, don't like, you gonna learn when to be quiet. I got to say that again. You're going to learn when to be quiet. If I look over at you and I give you that look, that means you need to shut up.
And look, Scoop, this is the problem. This is the problem that I have with our brothers. I love the fact that we love our lineage, which is FBA. That's cool. All I'm saying is the brothers in these spaces never correct female behavior. They never do it. And most of the women in their chat rooms are feminists. I've had conversations with a lot of these women in these FBA spaces behind the scenes, so I know who they are. But these brothers don't give a damn as long as these women spend money with them and support their platform. So all I'm saying is this: you can talk all this tether stuff all day, right? And that's cool. At some point, we got to call out the tethers. But when you never take the time to correct female behavior, how in the hell you gonna call yourself a leader and you can't even correct female behavior? That is crazy. So, and I can't respect that, bro. I cannot respect that. Most of our problems stems from the bad decisions that we made. If you look at the black woman right now and her issues, why she's a single mom, why she's the least unmarried, most of these issues are self-inflicted wounds, right? And the black man that's in a leadership position who have these FBA conversations and all these black people congregate in these spaces, if you never take the time to correct female behavior, then you a sucker. Let me tell you something. Black women are the LA Clippers of the NBA. They're the Sacramento Kings of the NBA. They're the Cleveland Browns of the NFL, which means black women have some of the worst stats. And I'm not saying that because I hate the sisters. I'm saying it. Listen, if you're losing at some point, we got to go to the drawing board. Black women can't afford to ignore these conversations. If you're losing, you need to go to the damn drawing board to fix something. But these brothers in these conscious spaces are too afraid to hold a black woman accountable. Why? Because they're too afraid that they might lose their support. So they resort to simping and pandering and never correcting female behavior. You got it, Scoop.
Hey, Red, they can't do something they wasn't taught. How many black men out here was taught to be leaders? You can't learn how to be a leader when all you ever saw was a mama? When that was your idea of leadership. Leadership what? Oh, mama get loud and yell all through the house and everybody get in line? That's not leadership. As a black man, you ain't got to do all that. And I'm going to tell you brothers how to be. You ain't got to do all that. You ain't got to do all that yelling, screaming, and hollering and raising your voice. You say what you got to say, mean what you got to say, and leave it at that, and she should get in line. Because if she ain't getting in line, she ain't for you. She going to put you in a line, and it's probably going to be the prison line. You don't need that headache, period. Period. No, she need to cooperate. Cooperation go a long way. Don't overtalk me when I'm talking to another man. You sisters got that bad. If I'm talking to another man, don't insert you in my conversation. I don't care if me and that man is disagreeing. You may want to stand there and watch, but you don't insert yourself into my conversation. I got this. I'm the man. I'm the leader. You follows me. That's how it works. It ain't no 50-50. You ain't 50-50 with these bills. You ain't 50-50 with that car note. But you want to be 50-50 in the leadership? No, you ain't 50-50 in no leadership. I'm the leader. Get that straight from the jump. We gonna get that straight the minute you start talking about you want to be married, you want to be in a relationship. I'm gonna find out, Red, because you know what I'm gonna do? My main goal is, Verge, I'm gonna piss you off, and I want to see how you respond.
That's what you want to do.
Talk to me like y'all know who you talking to. Then I know you was putting up a front the whole time. Because how you handle adversity tells me what type of woman you are. How you handle adversity, whether it comes to financial, our relationship matters, the kids, anything will show me just what type of woman I'm dealing with, Red and Verge. And if you fail, I don't give second chances. You got to go.
Hey man, that's real. How she handles adversity shows character, right? Because anybody can act, everybody can fall in line when times are good. How do you handle adversity? That's going to show me your real character, right? So you want to see that. I'm not saying that we got to intentionally disrespect you, but at some point we got to see how you handle that, because it's the same thing with a team. You're not going to know what your team is made of until they handle a little bit of adversity, right? It's all good when everything's going good. It's all good when the sun is shining and everybody's partying. When we have to deal with some adversities and some pushback, how you gonna handle yourself? That's gonna show me. That's gonna show me your true character. And check this. This is what I'm saying. This shows you how fake our people are, right? Now, when I was talking about black male Sambos, black men that's off call earlier this year, and I'm pretty sure Verge and Scoop know this. When I was going in on Officer Tatum, Anton Daniels, all the black male Sambos that was off call, you know how many black women was over here listening to that? You know how many
Wow.
FBA people was over here supporting that content when I was talking about white supremacy, immigration, and black men that was off code? The moment that we said, hold on, we got to get some correction with the black woman, not only did the black women quit supporting, a lot of these beta males quit showing up supporting. So it shows you that they don't want no correction or accountability for the black woman. That's why I had to step away from the FBA community. It's full of simps and suckers. Now I appreciate the conversations of black empowerment and uplifting the lineage. I get it. But anybody that's been watching me, you know this to be a fact. The beginning of this year, I was going in on a black man for being off code. And when I made that content, FBA people was over here heavy supporting. Anytime, the moment that it was time for me to hold the women accountable, I ain't listening to that no more. I ain't finna listen. I ain't finna support that. Matter of fact, y'all need to quit listening to Red Supreme. He off code. He's trying to hold a black woman accountable. And y'all know I'm telling the truth. I'm not just clowning. Y'all know I'm telling the truth.
Hey, Red, they ran out of that because they know you was hitting a nerve. That's what it was. You hit some nerves. You know what I'm saying? Touched all of them, like in church, like the preacher in church when they tell them about themselves and they get to screaming and looking all funny in the face and looking all around. He talking about me? Yeah, he talking about you. You in church on Sunday, but was a ho on Saturday night. So don't come with that. And that's what you doing. You preaching the gospel, Red. Don't let them stop you. Damn what they talking about. If they feelings hurt, tell them go cry somewhere about it. Cry harder. Oh, well, we gonna hold black women accountable just like we gonna hold the immigrants accountable. We gonna hold the damn black men accountable. We gonna hold the politicians accountable. We gonna hold these cities accountable. We holding everybody over here accountable on King Supreme. And if you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you, because I guess you in the wrong spot. But you can't run. My grandma used to tell me all the time, Red, no matter where you go, no matter where you try to hide, you can't run from yourself.
Right. And this is the thing. And this is what they're doing, right? All these black women, I say, let me scroll YouTube to see what's going on. You know where all these black women are? They used to listen to me. They flock the channels that's talking about tethers every day. There's no accountability over there. There's no self-reflection. There's none of that. I ain't gonna listen to no black man holding the black woman accountable. I'm gonna flock to these FBA channels that only talk about tethers. Okay, cool. Go over there, but you ain't gonna learn nothing. Talking about tethers every day ain't gonna bring you no husband. Talking about tethers every day ain't gonna bring you no man to provide for you and your children. Talking about tethers ain't gonna stop the black woman from aborting her babies at the highest rate. Talking about tethers ain't stopping the black woman from having the lowest marriage rates. So you can talk about tethers all day, every day. It ain't gonna change your personal situation, baby. Go ahead, Verge.
Hey, go ahead, Verge.
I'm about to say, nah. Listen here, man. Facts. Listen, to sit up here and minimize this major issue within our FBA so-called freaking community, Red and Scoop, they call it gender war content. Just minimize it like it's not an issue, like it's not something serious, like it's something we shouldn't be discussing. And look at this list. The top 10 reasons why black women have the lowest marriage rate. Look, that list is utterly disturbing, man. You feel me? As I'm looking at it on the screen, it's disturbing. Nasty attitude, disposition. This is stuff, like we always say, like Red always say, it's stuff that's don't even cost. It's free. This is stuff that y'all can fix. This is stuff that's not even a real serious, or should I say, something that's difficult to do that you would think in retrospect. You know what I'm saying? And also there's and when it comes to talking about this, because then the mind frame gets put out, Red and Scoop, that, you know, we're bashing, we hate our mothers, or we just focusing on the women. But the thing is, some of that's true, right? But at the same time, it's something that has to happen, because in order for anything to change, we have to focus on what one of the major issues is. And I think amongst us, what we don't want to admit as a whole, specifically our women, that the major issue with why our community is what it is partially is the state of our women. Did Malcolm X not say that the state of women kind of determines a community or a people or whatever? Didn't he say that? A lot of y'all chicks always quote that too.
But then they're going to say this, right? Well, Malcolm X almost said that a black woman is at least protected and at most disrespected. They love to use that.
Yeah, okay. So, but why though? Is it because it's black men's fault? Right. Okay. So say it's our fault. Okay. We take fault. It is our fault. Now we coming in to correct it. So when we come in to correct it, the correction ain't being accepted, and we can't protect y'all if we can't correct y'all.
Yeah, exactly, man. And that's 100. My thing is this, man. I did all this FBA content because I was trying to spread awareness about the border. I knew many of these conscious communities wasn't gonna hold Black women accountable.
Right.
I already knew that. So at some point, I knew I had to separate. When I was doing FBA content, I was mainly speaking about the border and illegal immigration, and this is why. Latinos are the fastest growing group in the South, right? Because of open borders and illegal immigration. So I was trying to tell our people the importance of not voting for Kamala Harris, because if she would have won this past election, she would have flooded Black communities with millions of more immigrants. So my main purpose of even talking about FBA stuff was really to say, hey, man, you need to vote against these open borders, right? That was my conversation. I don't give a damn about no African tethers. Like me personally, I've never had an issue with an African a day in my life. I'm being honest with you. Now, I know some of them are tethers and some of them, yes, you got, listen, we got problems with people within our own race. So of course you're going to have problems with outsiders. Our biggest problems as foundational Black Americans is from the bad decisions that we made, not from white supremacy, not from tethers. If a Black woman is a single mother and she got baby daddies, that stems from her bad decision making. That stems from her being promiscuous and reckless with her body. That ain't got nothing to do with no tether or no white man. Go ahead, Scoop.
Hey, Red. I love when they say that too, but you got to figure we got to take into consideration with Malcolm X time, place, and manner. Was the Black woman of that era the same we got today?
Hell no.
No, it wasn't the same woman. So you can't make that comparison and say what Malcolm X said back then, because you're not willing to be that traditional woman that was back then. The marriage rates in the Black community was high back then. We had actual Black families. We had actually Black communities. We got communities now where you can't even say nothing to somebody's kid. Pookie out there, 16 years old, carrying a gun, selling dope. You can't say nothing to my baby. That's my baby. He ain't doing nothing wrong. But the minute somebody lay his ass out and he under that white sheet, you trying to get donations so you can bury his hard-headed behind. It wasn't like the way it is now back then. So yeah, Malcolm X made that statement. So I got to ask him, are you willing to go back to being that traditional woman where the marriage rates was up? Or you just trying to come home from the club and get your back broke out? Because that's what it looks like to me. You just trying to come home from the club because you like the Negro you see, you get your back blown out. 6 weeks later, you're pregnant, and then you want that Negro to come back and play daddy. Now tell me that's not a bad decision. And why should you be rewarded for that bad decision? Well, it's his kid too, but you are the woman. The key to sex is through you. You know good and damn well what happens like that. You know a baby could become. Well, how come he need to take care of his responsibility? So you went out, had sex at a club with a man you probably barely even know. Or you got to know him and y'all been messing around for the last 6 months. Did you ask that man, did he want a child, or did you just spring up a child? Now, yeah, he can take care of his kid, but look at the position you put him in. Him taking care of his kid don't make a family. That just means he takes care of his obligation. You are still without a husband. And what you gonna go do? Try it all over again? So no wonder you got 6 kids. But then that's men's fault, right? When you still hold the key to sex, and especially with Black women trying to get that through their head. Me and my mother used to have an argument about that type of stuff, because when I started being a man, I started seeing the hypocrisy. When I got to be about 16, 17, I noticed the hypocrisy and I pointed it out. Trying to get through some of my aunts, Democratic aunts and Democratic mama and all them was hard, because once again, it was the excuse of this was the man. My thing was, did he take it? Well, no, you freely gave it to him, right? You knew the console, like what Quick say, you knew the job was dangerous when you took it, right? You knew most of the time that child is going to be with you. So if you did not want a child, why did you give him access to have a child with you based upon you hoping or praying or wishing he gonna stay there with you and marry you and make you his wife? Why would I make you my wife and I met you in a filthy, nasty club? I'm supposed to believe that mindset is gone. I'm supposed to believe it now. You are a different changed person, and you're gonna be that loyal wife.
Yeah,
When I
man.
met you in a club, when I
Hey,
met
man.
you at the liquor store when I was getting a bottle of Henny. Why would I believe that unless I'm a fool?
Hey, man. Hey, school. Like I said, man, the content creators are the new pastors, right? They're doing the same thing that Pastor Jamal is doing. These black women flock to hear stuff about tethers every day, but they don't want to hear nothing about self-improvement and what they can do better. They don't want to hear that shit. That's why they flock to those channels that never talk about the issues that we can fix. Let me tell you something, black women. The things that we require from you guys don't cost money. Being feminine don't require money. Being feminine and submissive don't require money. You keeping your legs closed until you find a man that actually wants to marry you. None of those things require money. They can't even do shit that doesn't require money, but they want some man to provide for them. You know how long it takes for a man to put himself in position to provide for a family? That can take 20 to 30 years at times, right? They can't even do things that don't require money, but they want you to give provision and protection. And a lot of these women are coming to the table with children from other men. That is insanity. Hey, man, check this out. We're going to listen to the rest of this video. These are black women. If they don't want to listen to us, let's see if they'll listen to a black woman that's telling them their main issue. Hit the like button, y'all.
The only person there. So they see her running the household, doing everything. So they believe and feel that that's how they should move as well. So they don't understand how to work with a man because they didn't see a man around, or they don't know, you know, what that looks like. So yeah, I think a lot of women are have become the men. Honestly, they're the man, they're the woman, they're the mother, they're the father. Let them tell it. That's really sometimes all they know. And, you know, I think sometimes you can become a victim of your environment. You can't really fault a person for that because they had no control in that. But what you can control, you can control the choices that you make now that you know better. So once you've been given better information, then it's up to you to use it and do something differently. You can't continue to make excuses for what your mama did and what your grandmama did and all of that because they may not have known any better. But now you have access to ways to get yourself to a better place. So there's no excuse for it because there's information out here, information that we didn't have years ago, or there's the knowledge that we didn't have years ago that you have now. So there's no excuse for continuing the cycle of bad behavior because you know now that you can do something differently. Number 3, it says are masculine and lacks femininity. We know that that is definitely true. Number 4 says don't value their virtue. That's 100% the case. I mean, society has made women think that being a 304 is where it's at. You can dress as provocative as you want to. You don't have to cover up. Why should you? We're women, so we can do whatever we want. We outside, and it shouldn't matter. A man shouldn't care about the way you dress. He shouldn't care about how you are perceived by the public and his peers, and how, you know, how that reflects him as a man. Women don't see that. They don't understand the perspective of a man because a lot of times a man wasn't showing up in that way, or he just wasn't present. Number 5 says doesn't prioritize fitness. Oh, child, we some of the biggest people out here, so we know that that's the case. Number 6, disregards global ethic image. Bonnets all over the place. Don't see where that's a problem. They don't understand how that could be perceived and how perceived in a negative way as to how black women don't really care about their appearance. You wear slippers and robes and nightgowns and night shorts everywhere you go with bonnets on. You just hopped out of bed, threw your bonnet on, and went to the store, went to the airport, went to everywhere, and you don't see that that's a problem. You don't think that that affects your image in any kind of way, and or don't really care about it. So that could definitely affect why most men look at that and say, nah, I don't want to be a part of that. Number 7 says egotistic, rejects criticism. Number 8 says no loyalty, unwilling to invest or build. That's a fact. Number 9 says doesn't tend to a man's ego. And number 10 says has no grounded sense of healthy submissiveness. And it's true. All of these things are true, but a lot of our women, unfortunately, don't want to accept the truth. There's no accountability. And I'm sorry, without any accountability, you can't make any advances or changes. Unfortunately, for the women who do want marriage, when it comes to black women, this is going to negatively affect them because now men are moving differently. And so men are not trying to take any chances. Men are afraid to even get married now because they don't want to have to deal with the consequences of the behavior of these types of women. They don't trust women. You know, you can't blame them because women are constantly saying how black men are just so horrible and they're this and they're that. And then you want them to level up and do all these things when a lot of these women aren't being accountable for themselves. So this is why, well, part of the reason why a lot of men aren't even trying to get married. They don't even believe in it. For the ones who were skeptical about it, or the ones who may have wanted to try, they're skeptical now because they're like, nah, I don't want to work hard and have to lose everything to a woman who's a chameleon, pretending like she's into me and she's really not, and she's only here for what I can give her, and that's it. And the minute I fall short, or God forbid anything happens, she's gonna leave me drop me like a hot potato and go to the next. There's no commitment with a lot of these women. And unfortunately, it's gonna hurt the good women who are still out here looking for good men, because now men are just skeptical. They're not sure if they want to chance the idea of actually committing to a woman and loving a woman and doing all these things, and then she turn around and burn him. It's work that has to be done, but if we can't even get women to be accountable for their own stuff, it's going to be even harder for anything to change or anything to get better. In the next 10, 15 years, I don't see it getting any better. I see it just getting worse and worse and worse, with women over here, men over here, all separated. So this is part of the reason why
a sickness that goes untreated only gets worse. It don't get better. These conscious brothers in these communities think, well, if we ignore the issues with black women, maybe it'll just get better. That's not how reality works. A sickness that goes untreated only gets worse. You can't talk about white supremacy and tethers while ignoring all these issues with black women as if they're going to get better if you just ignore it. Man, that's crazy.
why a lot of black women have the lowest marital rates, because they don't understand what marriage is. And also the things that were listed on this post goes into why a lot of our women aren't married and why they're the least desirable. I would advise any woman who wants something, a real relationship, a marriage, or any of that, committed relationships, to pay attention to the stuff that's being posted. Pay attention to what's out here, because these are the things that's going to affect whether men want to commit to you or not. These are the things that are affecting why a lot of men don't want to commit to women. They don't feel that these women are genuine. They don't feel that these women have the right attitude. They don't feel that these women are the best choices for marriage. And in many cases, a lot of these particular women have definitely proven men right. Baby, this is a lot. It's a lot that needs to be changed, and it's not all on the men to make all the changes. Women have to make some changes just as well as the men. I'm not saying either side is perfect, but it's not all on the men to make all the adjustments. I think the women need to make adjustments as well. Y'all were raised in the same household by the same woman or the same parents. And if there are issues with both of you. So that means both of you got to make some changes. You can't just think that it's all the men and you just perfectly walking around here perfect and you're not flawed at all. No, that's the problem. Take accountability, make some changes, learn some things, talk to men, figure out what men want, what they need, just as much as you want the man to figure out what you want and what you need. It has to be balanced in that situation. You can't just have it all and he's lacking everything. That's not going to work. So listen, y'all chime in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts on this one. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with the list? Do you disagree with the list? I want to hear your thoughts.
And this is the thing, you guys. They're going to listen to this. So you're just blaming women for all the problems. What I'm telling you is society has always held men accountable. Men have never escaped accountability. Why you think black men have had the highest incarceration rates? Because a lot of black men have committed crimes and they serve time for it. So that's accountability at its finest. Accountability always come knocking at a black man's door, right? So that's never been an issue. The issue is black women don't get held accountable by these so-called conscious brothers in these spaces who claim they want the best for black people. They're not held accountable in these conscious spaces. The black church don't hold them accountable. And I said it before and I say it again. The content creators are the new pastors. Black women flock to spaces where men don't hold them accountable. Black women flock to spaces where these men just ignore the issues in the black community that's connected to black women. How can listen, without a black family, you don't have a community. There's no community with no family. So if you care about the community, how in the hell could you sit up there and ignore these problems that's been plaguing our community for decades in this country? That's why I can't listen to this content no more, because there's too much pandering to the women and none of them are really addressing the issues. A sickness that goes untreated only gets worse. It don't get better. Virgin Scoop, I'm gonna let y'all close it, man.
Yeah, I'll go first, man. Yeah, man, and this is what like I said, Red, the two major issues is the lack of fathers in a home and how the deep indoctrination of feminism and everything that happens as a result of it. You know what I'm saying? Directly results of this white supremacy that we is all familiar with. So it ain't no need for us to keep badgering over white supremacy, or like you said, Ari would tell us we need to focus on what the major issue is having family. We can't have a FBA community if we don't have families. Where's the generational wealth coming from? Where are the families coming from? Where's the structure coming from? Where's the order, the discipline coming from? Where's the generational wealth coming from? You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, Black women, it's the men that upkeep and maintain and even build structures and institutions and stuff like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, y'all been allowed to be in charge of the so-called community and have absolutely done nothing, right? And that's just what it is. That's not bashing. That's not nothing. That's just what it is. That's why they just fired a whole bunch of y'all not too long ago, man. Y'all used up for what y'all was meant to be used for, and now we in the situation we is now. And now at a point where us men is in a situation, even financially, man, we trying to get on code with each other. It's a struggle, man, because we got a lot of trauma we got to work through. But y'all see, it's happening. I literally was at the 13th annual Black American walk for wellness in my city, man. So when you say brothers ain't doing that, that's a lie. We got all type of organizations, institutions we have installed and all type of stuff. I'm a member of a program called you know what I'm saying, all type of programs for men and everything in my city. So when y'all say us Black men ain't doing nothing, ain't creating nothing, ain't establishing nothing, that's a lie. At least in my city it is, and I know it's going on everywhere else as well. So you know what I'm saying? When we're focusing on what's the issue, unfortunately right now the issue, one of our major issues in our community is our women. It's not that the men aren't. When have we have not been? Right? The thing is, the focus ain't just never been on y'all. And now that it has been, it's this thing, but it's just something that we have to address, man. And for y'all to sit up here and be on y'all's platforms, as big as they may be, or whatever size they may be, and y'all not talking about this stuff, y'all shutting this off as gender war content. It's kind of, let's not talk about it. And then to also say stuff like this, Red, I don't see no other groups of people talking about this type of stuff, which is a lie. That's just to let y'all know y'all not tapped in for real, because other groups of people having the very exact same conversations.
Yeah, white men been complaining about feminism. They're the first passport bro. Shit.
So you know, so like my brother Red said, and just like Scoop said, man, listen, man, us who know what the real issues is, we cannot be shamed, ridiculed, condemned into thinking that us talking about this is not important, something that we should stop doing. I'm looking at the comment section and I'm seeing what I'm seeing. Listen here, if y'all think this stuff ain't important, then y'all can think that. But you know what I'm saying, us real ones over here, we're gonna focus on, you know, talking about what's important. And what's important is the situations between us as Black people, between us men and women. That's a serious issue. We have to fix that, y'all. We have to get this under control. Families aren't being made. Children aren't being born. The ones that are completely out of the structure of family, which is why the prison rates are what they are, which is why things are the way they are. And then when us Black men, we starting to get on one accord and we starting to say, hey, take leadership. This is what we need to do. We see how much the indoctrination is because it's being rejected. All right? It's being rejected. The leadership that we trying to instill and install is being rejected. Right? So, you know.
Yeah. That's why so many Black men just said, man, I throw in the towel, man. I'm not finna deal with that. See, Black women want to be pandered to. They don't want to talk about the issues that plague their lives on a day-to-day basis. They want to ignore that. So they flock to channels where men never hold them accountable. And I'm not saying this because I hate FBA. I'm a foundational Black, but I got to be real. These brothers in these FBA spaces never hold the Black woman accountable. They never correct their behavior. As long as black women spend them coins and subscribe to their channels, that's all they give a damn about, which is why I say the content creators are the new pastors. That's exactly why I say that. You provide a space where the black woman will be pandered to and catered to, but not held accountable for anything. So yes, these new black content creators are the new pastors. They're no different than Pastor Jamal Bryan, brother. School, where you at?
Can you hear me, Red?
Yeah.
Man, it all boils down to the same thing: accountability. Accountability. Everybody got to be accountable for what they do. It doesn't matter. You don't get a pass because you have a different anatomy between your legs. That don't give you a pass. You still got to be accountable. And the problem is we're bumping heads now, because now that the accountability is being questioned, hey, why aren't you taking responsibility for this? Why aren't you taking responsibility for that? And now all of a sudden it's turned into that's gender war content. That's bashing. The black woman should be held up. I'm not holding nobody up. You hold yourself up. You got to show me a reason to put you up there. You got to show me a reason to show you that respect. You got 6 kids and baby daddies everywhere. No husband in sight. You live in the projects. You don't even got a car, and you asking me to take you to the store so you and your kids could get some food off of your EBT. But you talking about, I know my worth. What is your worth? Because that's not showing me nothing. And you think I got to prove something to you? You're the one that's in a dire situation, not me. Like any of those 10 reasons that she just had up there read, to me is a disqualifier. That means you got to fix something, because you shouldn't be on that list. If you want my time, if you want my black dollars, if you want me to look at you as somebody special in my life, and especially if you talking about marriage, you can't be on that list. You can't. That's about as bad as a cop being on the Brady list. Hell no. You think you deserve respect? You done showed that you done messed up. Oh no, everybody makes mistakes. No, not to. And we all make mistakes, but there's degrees to this. You got 6 kids. That ain't a mistake. That's poor choices that you made. Didn't learn from the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the 5th one, or the 6th one. And most likely, you'll probably make that mistake again, because you're in a habit of making mistakes, because you're running from correction. At some point in time, you had to started to see your life change based on all those decisions that you're making and having all those kids. But you still think you deserve a top tier man to come along and marry you and make you his wife. Most likely, that's not going to happen. Let's just be real about it. It's not going to happen. You're going to get your back broke out a gang of times. But husband, nah, you might as well put that bed to rest. Put that to rest. The best thing you can do is teach your daughters, if you got any, or teach the younger females how to not wind up like you. That's about it. But that dreams of, I'm gonna get a husband, some man gonna come along sweet. Nah, you know what I'm saying? Most likely he gonna be a simp, and he only in it to get what he want. You know, a free roof over his head, you know what I'm saying? Some box every night, maybe you cooking some dinner. That's the only reason he's there. But he's most likely never gonna marry you. He's never gonna make anything better. He there to get what he can get, because that's all you can offer him. I mean, let's get that through your, stop with the bashing, ladies. Come on, black women, we supposed to be better than this. It's bashing when you get corrected. You don't like correction because you don't want to hear. If I tell you you're overweight, that shouldn't be considered bashing. Lady, you weigh more than I do. You 320, 5'5" and 320. And you don't want nobody to say, hey, that weight is a problem. You need to lose that weight. Oh, now you bashing me. You better take me for who I am. I know my worth. Really? 320? No woman should ever weigh over 300. No woman should ever weigh over 250. No woman should ever weigh 200 unless you 6'6". There ain't no way, Red. That's unacceptable. And it's called bashing because a man says, no, I want my woman to be able to go to the beach in a bikini. Not a whole bunch of rolls and meat hanging out. I want you to fit in them little outfits in the store because I want you looking good when you on my arm. Not have all that back arm fat and 3 chins hanging down with 2 kids behind you, little crumb snatchers. No, that's not a good look for me, and I'm a man of means. I'm out here getting my bread, making it happen, and this is what you think I'm supposed to be with? No, you should care about yourself because a woman that's on that list, Red, I don't want a woman like that raising my kids, period. No, you don't qualify to raise kids with me. Not being on that list because what you are is what you're going to try to teach my kids. If I tell you I don't want you walking around with bonnets on your head, that's correction, not bashing. If I tell you don't put lipstick on my son and think you're going to test out makeup on my son, who's a boy who has to grow up to be a man because I know what that's going to lead to, that's correction. That's not bashing. If I come home from work and you've been here all day and you sitting up on your phone talking to your friends and the house ain't clean, but you've been here all day, ain't no dinner on the table, that's not bashing. That's correction. Get it straight. You don't want correction. So don't tell me the black woman is the least protected. No, you're the most hard-headed. You don't want correction. We need correction so we can get our families back, Red, because it'll never happen until they're willing to understand the difference between bashing and correction. And I'm going to land it there.
Man, that was powerful, Scoop. Black women don't know the difference between bashing and correction. That's why they flock to these conscious channels because there's no correction over there. They escape accountability where these brothers just talk about white supremacy and tethers all day. The white man didn't make it. Shot at tell him. The white man didn't make it to where you became a single mother. The white man didn't make it to where you're the least married. You did it to yourself. Tethers ain't the reason why you don't have a husband. Tethers ain't the reason that you're running around at 5'4", 200 pounds. Tethers didn't create that problem for you. Tethers ain't the reason that you got all this damn student loan debt. Tethers ain't the reason that you got bad credit. So at what point do the black woman look at herself and say, you know what, let me focus on things that'll make my life better? Hopping online in these comment sections talking about tethers ain't gonna fix a damn thing in your personal life. It's not. Yes, it's cool to address it sometimes. I'm not saying that we can't address it. But talking about tethers every day when you a struggling single mom, you got bad credit, you're damn near 40, you struggling with these children, and you ain't got no damn husband, but you wanna tap into these conversations about tethers every day. At what point do you look at your life and say something needs to change? I need to fix something. Talking about tethers every day ain't gonna change a damn thing in your personal life as a black woman. Because let me tell you something. Tethers only represent 2% of the population, and they're getting deported as we speak. The biggest issues for black women is the bad decisions that she's made that put herself in these bad situations in the first place. But guess what? They don't want to run to these. They want to flock to channels that don't want to hold them accountable for their behavior. There's no self-improvement at all. There's no room for self-improvement with no correction. Black women don't understand the difference between bashing and correction. Scoop, listen, man, the homeboy Scoop took the hammer and put the nail in the coffin with that right there. Black women don't understand the difference between correction and bashing. And these beta male simps in these conscious community never hold them accountable because they're too damn pandering to black women to get there. They're too damn busy pandering to black women to get their money. Like I said, the content creators are the new pastors. They ain't no damn different from Pastor Jamal Bryant. You tell black women what they want to hear instead of what they need to hear, which is why there's no room for self-improvement, because you guys are too damn busy pandering and simping to the woman, so much to the point where you never hold them accountable. You never offer any correction for their bad behavior. The black woman is on the road to self-destruction, and you beta male simps never offer any correction. Talking about tethers and Africans every day ain't gonna stop the black woman from aborting her babies. Talking about tethers every day ain't gonna make a black man wife up the black woman. Talking about tethers every day ain't gonna stop the black woman from filing for divorce at the highest rate. So what am I saying? We need to focus on things that we can actually change in our day-to-day lives. Talking about tethers every single day ain't gonna change the problems that we created in our personal lives. And I'm gonna land right there. My goodness. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna play one more thing before I land. Lord Jesus, I shouldn't even have to say this, bro.
Marriage is not a sin. It's about mutual selection, which starts with the man. But let's zoom out for a second. Even though there are close to 2 million more black women than black men in the United States, 36% of black men are married, compared to 29% of black women. And according to Pew Research projections for 2026, black men's marriage rate is expected to increase by 4 percentage points, reaching 40%, which is very respectable given the current dating market. But here's the detail that often gets missed. About 2% of that increase is projected to be interracial marriages. That means black men still want marriage, but more of them are finding wives outside of the community. That's not theory, that's data. So while black women aren't finding those men suitable, other races of women are.
Hey loves, it's your girl Dee, and welcome back to the
Oh man, that was real right there, bro. That was real. By shout out to the Medium, man. I got another clip that I'm gonna play. Yeah, man, like talking about tethers every day ain't gonna change black women's personal issues. It's not.
You tired of lies? The Real Black Agenda is crushing 3 bestsellers list. Grab it on Amazon.
I heard another narrative floating around, and people always say this. I've put the statistics out there in regards to divorce in the black community. I've shown you guys all the statistics showing that black men are not the most divorced. I'm pretty sure you guys heard it on social media. Black men are divorced at the highest rate. No, it's black women. But there's also a claim floating around that definitely needs to be addressed because it sounds logical until you actually examine it. The claim is that black women are the most divorced because they marry black men the most, and black men aren't up to par. First, divorce is a shared event. If marrying black men were the reason for high divorce rates, then black men would also rank at the top of the divorce statistics. They don't. Black women rank lower than black men in divorce. Black women have the highest divorce rate, okay? That alone tells us the issue cannot simply be the men. Secondly, black women initiate divorce at significantly higher rates than black men. All women do, but black women lead in that category. So the group experiencing the highest divorce rates is also the group most often to choose to leave. That doesn't support a theory of being trapped with uniquely deficient husbands. It points to differences in expectations, thresholds, and exit behavior. And we just discussed this. Third, when we look outside intraracial marriage, the argument collapses further. If black men were the problem, then marriages involving black men across the board will be the most unstable. But black men in interracial marriages do not have the highest divorce rates, and black women's divorce rates remain elevated even when they marry outside of their race. And I know that contradicts that old ass study that black women always like to quote. When black women marry white men, they divorce at their lowest rate. They don't. Black women, your divorce rate stayed the same no matter who you marry now, okay? The variable that changes divorce risk is not black men. It's marriage dynamics tied to the black wife. Fourth, structural favors explain divorce patterns far better than character arguments. So saying black men aren't up to par, that's false. Black marriages face higher economic volatility. I mentioned that we have some issues. That's why our marriages, we don't get the same, I guess, perks as other races. We marry later, 33 and 32. That's the highest among any race or gender, where, you know, we have less accumulated wealth and greater stress exposure. Okay, we go through a lot in the United States. Those factors actually increase divorce risk regardless of the husband's race or personal quality. Okay, so when people say black women divorce the most because they marry black men, what they're really doing is replacing analysis with blame. If black men were the cause, the data would show it consistently. It doesn't. Okay? Black women are the most divorced, not because black men aren't, up to par, but because divorce is influenced by who leaves, under what conditions, and how much structural strain the marriage is under. That's not an opinion. That's what the data actually says. Okay? So I just wanted to clear that up because they try and find these workarounds. First, it was black men are the most divorced. No, I debunked that. Then the narrative or the goalpost moves towards, well, the reason why black women are the most divorced is because they're married to these trash black men. If that were true, then black men would have higher divorce rates with whoever they marry. They don't. So let's take a look at the statistics here. So who is the most divorced? Of course, among all four major.
Shout out the media, man. And let me tell you something. Somebody said, hello, it was money. Black women divorce regardless of financial status, right? Black women divorce rich men just as much as they divorce broke men. So how you gonna be the least married and file for divorce at the highest rate? At some point, you had to say something is wrong with the black woman, something is wrong with her mentality, something is wrong with her psyche. I'm gonna say it again, and I'm gonna get back to media, man. How you gonna be the least married woman but file for divorce at the highest rate? That's crazy.
Racial groups of men, black men are the most divorced. Among all major racial groups of both men and women, black women are the most divorced. And then, as I stated, black women were the only demographic where in 2018, the rate of divorces exceeded the rate of marriages. So this doesn't necessarily mean there were more total divorces than total marriages that year. It just means that the rate per 1,000 for divorces among married black women, 31, was higher than the rate of marriages among unmarried black women. So divorce in decline. About 40% of today's marriages will end in divorce. This was actually just published July 24, 2025 by the Institute for Family Studies. We've all heard the mantra that half of all marriages end in divorce. This idea often gets peddled as a way of dissuading young adults from tying the knot. If you only have 50-50 odds of making it, is marriage really worth the risk? It's a great Bill Burr joke where he was talking about jumping out of a plane and you tell me I have a 50-50 chance of the parachute opening. Would you jump out the plane?
I'm at that age where everybody I know is getting married. Let me ask you a question. Why the hell do people keep getting married? You know what I mean? Isn't anybody looking at the stats? You know what I mean? 3 out of 4 marriages go right down the shitter, right? If you were going skydiving and they told you 3 out of 4 parachutes weren't going to open, you'd be like, yo, fuck that, I'm not going.
What does the future hold?
Right, if you went skydiving and you heard 3 out of 4 parachutes went down, you're going to say, hell no. So if black women are the least married, but they file for divorce at the highest rate, why do people pretend like they don't understand why no one really wants to marry a black woman? The risk is too high and there's no reward for it at the damn end. So hopefully you should understand if you operate from common sense. I want to hear what he said again. That was funny, but it was true.
I'm at that age where every
jumping out of a plane and you tell me I have a 50-50 chance of the parachute opening. Would you jump out the plane?
I'm at that age where everybody I know is getting married. Let me ask you a question. Why the hell do people keep getting married? You know what I mean? Isn't anybody looking at the stats? You know what I mean? 3 out of 4 marriages go right down the shitter, right? If you were going skydiving and they told you 3 out of 4 parachutes weren't going to open, you'd be like, yo, fuck that, I'm not going.
What does the future hold for 21st century marriages? Prediction is no easy task. This is the method sociologist Weifeng Wan used to find that just 42% of new marriages will end in divorce. This strategy is a good one and simply assumes divorce rates will stay unchanged. And then using past divorce rates, we see a range of possibilities for the future of 21st century marriage. Indeed, this scenario aligns with the 42% cumulative divorce rate projected by Weifeng Wan. If later year divorce rates look more like the 1960s, then we should see about 40% of these marriages ending in divorce. But if marriages trend toward further stability, as we see with those from 2010 to 2012, then we could even see under 40% of first marriages ending in divorce. But right now, our best estimate is that about 40% of today's first marriages will end in divorce, but only time will tell. So essentially, they did their research and they studied this. Okay, so about 40 to 42% of first marriages will end in divorce. It's not 50%, but I think that's progress. And I would love to hear what you guys have to say about that. And of course, yes, I did fact check it just to make sure. So the 50% divorce rate is outdated. Current best projections place the lifetime risk for first marriages around 40 to 42%, not 50%. Annual divorce rates are near historic lows. The U.S. crude divorce rate, divorces per 1,000 people, is about 2.4, and the refined rate per married women is about 14.2 per 1,000, both down from earlier decades. So what you guys can say with confidence, according to the latest data, fewer than half of first marriages in the U.S. are expected to end in divorce, around 40 to 42%, which is significantly lower than the commonly cited 50% figure. So I'm speaking to the guys. When you guys quote these divorce statistics, don't say 50% anymore. I know it sounds good. It's easy to say 50% divorce rate. No, it's around 40 to 42%. So, I mean, I know it's only about 8 to 10% difference, but it's not half. Makes sense? So I think maybe, 58 to 60% of divorces of marriages tend.
All right, so you heard that, man. Let's go to the next clip. I want y'all to hear what Dave Anderson had to say. This is Dave Anderson, man. I want y'all to hear what he had to say.
You tired of lies and leftovers? The Real Black Agenda is crushing 3 bestsellers list. Grab it on Amazon or hit the link in my Instagram bio at The Business Bully before they try and silence it. Many black women are.
Now, shout out to Dave Anderson, because he has to be one of the realest brothers in these FBA spaces, man. He has to be one of the realest. Now, one thing that I disagree with, even though he's holding black women accountable, he said that the black church don't hold black women accountable. Well, brothers in these conscious communities, a lot of our FBA brothers with these platforms, they're not holding black women accountable either. I'm not talking about FBA brothers that make dating content. I'm talking about guys who put FBA in their title every video. They don't hold black women accountable at all. So we got to hold them accountable just like we're holding the black pastors accountable. These brothers who talk about tethers every day and the lineage and they put FBA in the titles every day, they never hold black women accountable for anything. They're no different than the black pastors at the church. So I want you guys to listen to what Dave Anderson said about feminism and the black woman.
Are afraid to get married, and I gotta be honest with you, I don't blame you. No one is colors list. Grab it on Amazon or hit the link in my Instagram bio at The Business Bully before they try and silence it. Many black women are afraid to get married, and I gotta be honest with you, I don't blame you. No one has come to you outside of your sister circle, outside of your homegirl circle, outside of these.
Well, Dave Anderson, they're not afraid to have babies. You can divorce your husband, you can divorce your wife. Black women are afraid to get married, but they ain't afraid to have sex. They ain't afraid to have babies. I mean, make sense. I got a little pushback for Dave Anderson because sometimes these older cats can be a little out of touch. They can be out of touch sometimes because they're not necessarily dealing with young females like that. So they say a lot of things that's not necessarily on point. If black women are afraid to get married, how come they're not afraid to have babies? How come they're not afraid to have sex with different men? So they're not afraid to have sex with different men. They're not afraid to have babies, but they're afraid to get married. That doesn't make any sense.
Talking, walking thoughts that are on the internet with their $2 blue snowball microphone telling you that men ain't no good and so on and so forth. But let's put all of that aside for a minute and let's talk about the real issue. Let's get to the heart of the matter. The reason that you're scared of marrying, especially marrying black men, is because you've been conditioned to believe that it doesn't work. Not only because the media is just running it down and putting it in your face, but the other part of that is you've seen your mama struggle. Let's face it, the majority of us from 80 on have grown up in a single parent household. And we've seen how your mother was overworked, and if daddy was there at all, it was like the Army Reserve, 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year. And the kids that we saw who had that type of relationship, we considered lucky. So I get it.
The problem with the black community is we are backwards. These women ain't afraid to have sex with different men. They're not afraid to have babies, but then you're going to say they're afraid to get married. You talk about having a backwards mentality.
The other part of that is, like I touched on earlier, the media has told you that you are the prize. The media has told you that any man that does anything worth talking about that isn't sexy enough that you can't go and brag to your friends about is automatically a scrub. Well, it's funny because the artists that said that they didn't want any scrubs were the lowest paid group damn near of all time. So you're talking about somebody's a scrub, but you barely got $25,000 after selling 11 million records. You barely got 25,000.
He right about that. How TLC gonna say they don't want no scrubs, but they're broke? But I get it. It sold records. It made sense to say that to sell records. But when you look at their personal lives, you're gonna say, hold on, you done sold all these records and you ain't got no damn money. You had people with regular jobs that had more money than TLC. Black men that were construction workers and plumbers had more money than TLC. And these women were known worldwide for the records they sold, but they didn't get none of the money. The record company was pimping them. But they're on video. I don't ain't no scram. Scram is the guy that can't get none left at me. Hanging out the best friend ride at the passenger side, trying to holler at me. The nerve of them bras, man. Don't want no scrubs, but they were scrubs themselves. That's insanity.
$1,000 after selling 11 million records. Yeah, no. And I'm not dropping this just on TLC or Kandi Burruss and Tiny Harris. I'm also dropping it on those old songs. Ain't nothing going on but the rent. You got to have a job if you want to be with me. But at least she was saying she just wants you to have a job. Like, that's a bar most of us can hit. But now we've got to compete with people who can get you flued out. We've got to compete with all these things, and you're afraid to get married because you've seen so many marriages fail and you haven't seen too many succeed. Now let's talk about the other thing. If we're going to talk about the M word, which is marriage.
We can't say that black women are afraid of marriage because they haven't seen many marriages succeed. They're not afraid to have sex with different men. They're not afraid to have babies, but they're afraid to get married. You talk about being ass backwards. If that ain't ass backwards, I don't know what is. I'm scared to get married, but you ain't scared to be promiscuous. You ain't scared to have babies without, you know what I mean? Without being in a real committed relationship with a man, but you're scared of marriage. This is backwards and degenerate. I can't even get mad when people say black culture is terrible. I can't even get mad at them, bro. At one point, I wanted to correct the Sambos and the black conservatives, but can I really get mad at them? No. Black women are afraid to get married, but they're not afraid to sleep with different men and have babies. You talk about being backwards. You talk about having a backwards mentality 100%.
We need to talk and have a long, lengthy conversation that I am going to abbreviate about the S word. No, not that one. And no, not that one either. This ain't about sex. It's about submission. Ooh, he said submission. Oh, you know I'm not going to submit to nobody. Who does he think he is? No, boo-boo cakes. Submission has been weaponized in order for you to believe that you're at some type of lower position. That's not how it works. See, in a biblical marriage, you have to understand that the husband is the head of the household. He is the minister of the house. He is supposed to submit to God. If you are stupid or short-sighted enough to submit to a slacking man, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit because you laid down with him. The other part of that is Why are you having babies? And I talked about this on other broadcasts, but why are you having babies with a man that you didn't want to be connected with for the rest of your life? How does that make sense? I wouldn't want to submit to Pookie, Tyrone, or Ray Ray either. But man, put it down and clap the hell out of me. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay up when I'm gonna have his baby because that's gonna change, and that has never.
We got to be real, bro. We got to stop making it seem like these black women that are getting pregnant by Pookies are top tier women. They're not, man. We got to stop making it seem like these top tier black women are getting pregnant by Pookies. And if you are getting pregnant by Pookie, you're not a top tier woman. I don't give a damn how much money or education you got. Water seeks his own level. That's the reality. Deal with it. They always try to make it seem like these women are just top tier and they're settling for Pookies. These women are Keishas. Let me tell you something. Keishas hook up with Pookies. These are not top tier women who are just settling for Pookies. This is Keisha and Pookie hooking up to have babies. Just because a woman have an education doesn't mean that she ain't a Keisha. Just because she's making a little bit of money doesn't mean that she ain't a damn Keisha. Keisha hooks up with Pookie, and then we say, well, why are you having babies with Keisha? Why are you having babies with Pookie? She's having babies with Pookie because she's a damn Keisha. Stop pretending like these women are top tier when they're not. Water seeks his own level.
Worked. You trying to get Lamondre to be a man ain't gonna work because Lamondre ain't got it in him. Some of us ain't.
Trying to get Keisha to be a woman, trying to get Keisha to be feminine ain't gonna work because Keisha is a feminist. The same way that you can't force Pookie to be a man is the same way that you can't force Keisha to be a damn woman.
No damn good. And we got to start talking about the fact that we need to get rid of our trash. But here's the other part of that. We start going after, and when I say we, men and women, but we're talking about women right now, why you're scared of marriage, we start going after, and when I say we, black people, a lot of women start going after Pookie, Ray Ray, and Earl because they're exciting, and this guy is too nice. But see, then when you have
this is where I disagree with Dave Anderson, even though he's saying a lot of things that are true. These women are Keishas. These are not top tier women. These are bottom of the barrel women who are hooking up with bottom of the barrel men. These are not top tier women who are just settling. No, they're not. Money and education don't make you a quality woman. Most of it is indoctrination. It's not even real education. They programmed you to be a damn feminist. They programmed you to qualify for a certain job. None of that stuff makes you a quality woman. You might be able to make some money. You might be able to provide for your children. But money and education does not make you a quality woman. What you have is Keisha's getting impregnated. What you have is Keisha's getting impregnated by Pookies. These are not top tier women who made bad decisions. Water seeks his own level, homie. So stop telling these black women, why did you settle for Pookie? She settled for Pookie because she's a damn Keisha. So in reality, she didn't settle at all. It's a match made in heaven.
2 and 3 baby daddies, you've been bombed out and depleted and left for dead like they did the troops in Afghanistan. Then all of a sudden it's stepdaddy season and you start taking your phone and posing with just the right angles because you ain't as in shape as you used to be. And now all of a sudden you don't have a problem settling like you say on those podcasts. The reason you don't want to submit is because you have been told that being strong and independent is a strength. You've been told that your education and that piece of parchment was power. You've been told that your position is something that should make you feel like you have the right to pontificate about any little thing you choose to. When the truth of the matter is, you can have more degrees than a thermometer, but if your cooking resume comes down to you pressing the chicken icon on your air fryer, you're not who we want. If your ability to rear children comes down to them sitting down with an iPad and watching Baby First TV, you're not who we want. You have to find yourself to be worthy. And yeah, a lot of that comes down to physical fitness because you don't want no fat, sloppy, slovenly, out of shape dude either. But you want us to accept you as you are because anything other than that is misogyny. No, you know what misogyny is? Misogyny is you going against your own interests and saying that it's okay for men to play in women's sports. But it's funny how there are no trans men dominating the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, National Hockey League, or any pro sport worth talking about, but there has been a trans male powerlifter who took gold in the gay games. You're focusing on the wrong things. If you submit to a good man. I'm not saying a perfect man because ain't none of us perfect and we don't expect you to be, but we want you to realize that a good man will love you flaws and all. A good man will step up and be there for you. And I'm not talking about stepdaddy. I'm talking about giving you the substance and the direction and the guidance that you need. The same way that a real man has no problem telling you, I consult my wife because my wife is the only person I know in my life who doesn't love me because of who I am. My mother loves me because I'm her son. My brother loved me because I was his brother. My kids love me because I'm their daddy. My wife chose me like I chose her. So I bet on her like she bet on me. But you're not willing to take the gamble because somehow you think that submission makes you weak. No, you have no problem, however, submitting to your white boss. Let it sink in. You got no problem submitting to the police officer when he pulls you over and you say, I don't know what I did.
The reason that the black woman submits to her white boss is because she's afraid to lose her job. She's not afraid to lose the man that she's with because she got 10 other simps in her DM telling her she's beautiful regardless. Telling her that her having kids by 3 different men doesn't matter. Telling her that her being 5'4" and 230 pounds doesn't matter and she's a queen regardless. So with that being said, she don't fear losing you because there's always a simp who's willing to take her for who she is. But in reality, once he starts to deal with her, he's going to realize why none of the baby daddy stuck around. But like I said, new box is always exciting to a man. Her box ain't new, but it's new to him because he's never had it. Please understand that. So it goes back to what I said. She submits to her white boss because she fears losing her job. She don't fear losing her man because in her mind, she thinks she can just go out and get another because she got 10 simps in her DM that are telling her how beautiful she is and what they would do for her and the things that they don't mind providing. So in her mind, she thinks that she has countless options to get another man. She knows that she don't have countless options to get another job, which is why she falls in line with her white boss at work.
Officer, all of a sudden you can get real soft. But when your man tells you that all he wants is peace and a sandwich, who you think you is? Who is you? I'm the person who's taking care of all this. I'm the founder of the feast. I'm the person that gets up at 2 o'clock in the morning when something goes bump in the night and I take one of my 3 Donald Trumps, aka my 45s, and I'm ready to blow somebody's head off for you. That to me is worthy of a sandwich. I get that his
Nah, I can listen, man, she need to bring more than a sandwich. If I'm providing and protecting, you better bring way more than a damn sandwich. I can go to the grocery store and get me a sandwich for $5. Now, of course, if you my woman, you need to be providing meals. And when I'm hungry, you need to take care of that. But what I'm saying is my provision and my protection is worth way more than a damn sandwich. The hell with that. I expect way more than a damn sandwich for my provision and my damn protection. Man, please. Well, I make my own money. I don't need no man. Okay, well, you're going to suffer and you're going to fall to the wayside. You're going to be 50, unmarried, and you're going to go from man to man. And then you're going to try your best to convince women that you're living that you're living your best life when in reality you are suffering behind the scenes. You ain't fooling nobody with common sense, baby.
Historically, marriage hasn't been safe for many of you, especially when you look at what they did to us. We would be married by jumping the broom and then they'd sell one of us off, or master would come play Master Got Loose in the slave quarters and do
that women would say, I don't need no man. Do you know men are the ones that created laws that offer you protection? You wouldn't have the protections that you have today if it wasn't for men. So when a woman says she don't need no man, she's delusional. The car that she drive was built by a man. The home that she live in was built by a man. The office that she works at was built by a man. The paved roads that you drive on down the streets was built and maintained by men. Society and civilization was built and maintained by men. So when a woman says that she don't need no man, she is deaf, dumb, and blind. She's delusional. And you need to stay the hell away from her. Society and civilization was built and maintained by men. So anytime you see a woman that has a mentality that she don't need no man, she's dumb. Leave her the hell alone.
unspeakable things in front of your man. They would also castrate us and then, you know, dip your heads and lie. I get the historical context, but ain't none of that happening today. You know what is happening today? A steady diet of rap music, Real Housewives of pick whatever county they allow black women to be showcased in while you're throwing drinks, and you believing that men can't protect you.
She said soon robots will do construction work. Man, listen, lady. Society was built and maintained by men. Any woman who has the mentality like that, you need to leave her the hell alone. Let her suffer. Let her lead the woman to her own vices, so you know she'll sit up there and self-destruct. That's exactly what you do. You need robot, and guess who's gonna build those robots? Guess who's gonna do the hard work and the maintenance? Men. Let me tell you guys something, man. I'm not saying that black men need to get married, because apparently they don't, right? They don't, right? Why build a foundation? Why build a house on a shaky foundation? It makes no sense to do that. Marriage don't benefit men. It actually benefits the women, because women are the ones who want provision and protection. Men are not asking women to provide anything. So marriage benefits women. It don't benefit men. Guess what? As a man, I don't need to get married to get a woman to make me a sandwich. I don't need to get married to get a woman to have sex with me. I don't need to get married to get a woman to cater to me. I can get all of that stuff without being married, without being legally married on paperwork through the government. Marriage, the institution of marriage benefits the woman, not a man. I'm not talking about you just marrying any man. If you want a man that makes money, that's going to provide for you, if you get married to a man with money and resources, that benefits the woman. If I already got money and resources, what can she do for me that I can't get any other woman to do? A man with money and resources can get any woman to give him sex, to cook, and to do all of these domestic things. You ain't got to marry a woman to get her to do that. We already know that black women will have sex with different men without being married. Black women will give you babies without being married. So at the end of the day, marriage does not benefit successful men, because a man who's successful can get a woman to do all of that without marriage. So in reality, marriage only benefits women. It don't benefit the man. The only exception to the exception to that rule would be this: if you was broke as a man and you married a woman with money, that's the only exception to the rule. But we all know that women, for the most part, want to marry men. Women, for the most part, want to marry men that have more money than them. You know, we're talking about the rule, not the exception. So in reality, marriage benefits women way more than it benefits men. And don't come up in here talking about the small minority of rich women that marry broke ninjas. That represents a small minority. Most women want a man that makes more money than them. So if you make more money than your woman, marriage benefits her way more than it benefits you. Please understand that. You're not asking for a woman to provide for you. You're not asking for a woman to protect you. So at the end of the day, marriage benefits the woman way more than it benefits the damn man.
What misogyny is? Misogyny is you going against your own interests and down to physical fitness, because you don't want no fat, sloppy, slovenly, out of shape dude either. But you want us to accept you as you are, because anything other than that is misogyny. No, you know what misogyny is? Misogyny is you going against your own interests and saying that it's okay for men to play in women's sports. But it's funny how there are no trans men dominating the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, National Hockey League, or any pro sport worth talking about. But there has been a trans male powerlifter who took gold in the gay games. You're focusing on the wrong things. If you submit to a good man, I'm not saying a perfect man, because ain't none of us perfect and we don't expect you to be, but we want you to realize that a good man will love you, flaws and all. A good man will step up and be there for you. And I'm not talking about stepdaddy. I'm talking about giving you the substance and the direction and the guidance that you need. The same way that a real man has no problem telling you, I consult my wife, because my wife is the only person I know in my life who doesn't love me because of who I am. My mother loves me because I'm her son. My brother loved me because I was his brother. My kids love me because I'm their daddy. My wife chose me like I chose her. So I bet on her like she bet on me. But you're not willing to take the gamble because somehow you think that submission makes you weak. No, you have no.
I'm not paying. Listen, let me tell you something. I'm not paying everything. Like these women have careers, right? So if you fought for equality, you need to spend some damn money. I can pay my bills without a woman, but if a woman gonna move in with me and she got a job and some career, and if she got a job and a career, you damn right she gonna break some bread. If she got a job and a career, you damn right she gonna break some bread. Ain't no free rides over here. See, money don't make the man. If a woman wants to listen, if her only reason for listening to you is because you're spending all your money, she don't like you. She just like what you provide. It's way more to a man than the amount. Like, there's way more to manhood than money. And let me say this to you guys: if money is the only reason that your woman wants to submit to you, you can get a prostitute. You can pay a prostitute that's gonna listen to you because you're spending money on her. A real woman is gonna value the things that you stand for. She's gonna value what you stand for as a man, your qualities, who you are as a person. If a woman only listens to you based on the money that you spend on her, you might as well just get a prostitute, man. Because money can't replace the role of a man. And that's something that black women don't understand. And I've been saying this for years. I'm going to say it again. Money cannot replace the role of a man. So if you meet a woman and if she only wants to listen to you based on the fact that you're spending money, that's no different than prostitution. That is a transactional relationship. A woman who truly values you is going to listen to you based on what you stand for, based on what you represent. The money is just the icing on the cake. Let me tell you something. The money is just the icing on the damn cake. If this woman is truly rocking with you, she's rocking with you based on the type of man that you are, based on the things that you stand for, based on the principles that you live by. Money is just the icing on the damn cake, man. So I'm going to say it again. If you're dealing with a woman and the only reason that she wants to submit to you or listen to you is because of the money that you're spending, then she's a prostitute. That's a transactional relationship. That relationship ain't based on love or respect. It is transactional. So hell nah.
Problem, however, is submitting to your white boss. Let it sink in. You got no problem submitting to the police officer when he pulls you over and you say, I don't know what I did, officer. All of a sudden,
I just told you I don't need a wife. I got women that cook for me and give me sex, and I didn't have to marry them, right? I don't need to go to the government. What I'm saying is black women are the ones who are complaining about not being married. I'm not complaining about not being married. You know how many women I met over the last 2 years that's gave me sex, cooked me food, cleaned up and washed my clothes, washed my dirty drawers, and I ain't had to marry none of them. So why do I need to get married if I got women cooking for me, giving me sex, and washing my dirty drawers? If I got women that are doing all of that for me, why do I need to get married? In other words, why buy the cow when you get the milk for free? In other words, why do I need to buy the cow when I already got the damn milk? Think about what I just said, Kaya. I can name different women that I've had over the last 2 years that have cooked, gave me sex, and washed my dirty drawers. And I didn't have to marry none of those women to get that type of submission. I didn't have to marry none of these women to receive that type of service. So if I'm getting all of this from women, why do I need to get married? Why do I need to get married through the government if women are doing everything that I need without a damn marriage certificate? Think about that.
You can get real soft. But when your man tells you that all he wants is peace and a sandwich, who you think you is? Who is you?
I'm not, listen, Kaya, I'm not saying that I won't ever get married. What I'm saying is I don't need marriage to get sex, good cooking, and a woman to wash my dirty drawers. I don't need to get married to receive that treatment from a woman. I don't need to get married for that. I already received that. I receive that treatment from women right now as we speak. So why do I need to get married when I already, like, think about what I'm saying, Kaya. Women nowadays don't require marriage before they give you sex, before they give you children, before they cook, clean, and cater, before they wash your dirty drawers. These women don't require marriage. They don't require marriage. You can get all of that without marriage, bro. You don't need to marry these. You don't need to marry these women to receive that treatment. You don't need to. So what I'm saying is, what you have nowadays is a bunch of women that want to get married, and they didn't already gave the white treatment to several men already. What can she give me that she ain't already gave another man? What can this woman give me that she haven't already given another man? Most of the time, they can't give you nothing. They didn't already gave themselves and children to other men. So in reality, she can't give you anything that she ain't already shared with another man. So there's no benefits. There's no benefits when it comes to marriage, especially if you expect me to provide and protect you. What do I get out of that? I don't get nothing out of that. What I get is a bill and a liability. That's exactly what I get. So a lot of men, as a result of that, a lot of men have said, I don't need to get married. I already got a woman that's cooking, cleaning, washing my dirty drawers, and giving me good sex multiple times a week. I don't need to get married to receive that. Is it the men's fault or the women's fault? Well, it's the women's fault. If you want marriage, maybe you need to save yourself before you give out. Maybe you need to save yourself before you give a man everything. If you come into the table and you got two to three baby daddies, and you done been with all these different men, there's nothing left for you to give another man. There's literally nothing left for you to give another man. You done gave another man children. You done had sex with different men. You done did a bunch of nasty things. There's literally nothing left for your husband to get because you done already gave it away to several men. So there's no benefit to marrying you in most cases. There's no benefit.
I'm the person who's taking care of all this. I'm the founder of the feast. I'm the person that gets up at 2 o'clock in the morning when something goes bump in the night.
Oh, I'm serious as hell, Kaya. Like, if a woman is good to me, I'm good to her. Shout out to T-Fam for the Cash App. Shout out to Castro for the Cash App. Shout out to Vernon85 for the Cash App. And shout out to Tony for the Cash App. We should have way more contributors and supporters for this good game, knowledge, and wisdom that I've been kicking, that I've been delivering during this whole 3-hour live stream. Let's get the support up, man. I want you guys to do better with the support. Support the work when we speak for you. All I'm saying is this. If a woman is good to me, then I'm good to her. Period. That's exactly what it is. I'm good to good people. I'm good to women that are good to me. Anyway, man, I'm going to get up out of here, man. Peace, love, and blessings. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Black people, let me tell you guys something. Most of our problems stem from the bad decisions that we made. Our problems are not coming from tethers or no white supremacists. Most of the problems that we have in our personal lives stems from our own bad decision making. That's the reality that most people don't want to deal with. It's the honest to God truth. When you see a woman that's a single mother with a high body count, that's because of her bad decision making. It ain't because of no white man. It ain't because of no damn tether. She made those terrible decisions, which is why she's in a bad situation today. It's a self-inflicted wound in so many words. Yeah. These are self-inflicted wounds. Tethers didn't, listen, let me tell you something. Tethers didn't force you to have that abortion. You're not a single mother because of tethers, and maybe some of you are, but the majority of you are not. You got student loan debt because of your bad decision making. Tethers ain't forcing black women to abort their babies at the highest rate. Tethers ain't the reason that black women are the least married. And it ain't because of white supremacy. Your problems stem from your own bad decision making. That's the reality. Black people have become their own worst enemy. The black man and the black woman have become our own worst enemy. Why do you think so many black women flock to channels that never hold them? Why do you think so many black women flock to channels that never hold them accountable for anything? That's why they flock to channels that talk about tethers and white supremacy all day, because there's no accountability for the woman. They run to those channels to escape reality. Black women run to those channels to escape reality so that they ain't got to deal with their personal problems. I'm going to go to such and such. He's doing a live stream. He's talking about African tethers. Yeah, and none of that affects your life on a day-to-day basis. Your bad decision-making is why your lifestyle sucks. It ain't got nothing to do with no tether. It ain't got nothing to do with no white supremacists. Your bad decision-making is why your life is so screwed up today, black woman. Your terrible decision-making is why your life is so screwed up. So what's the purpose of you listening to nonsense about tethers all day when your life is screwed up based on your own bad decision-making? Make it make sense. Peace, love, and blessings. I'm going to get up out of here, man. It's King Supreme. I got to get up out of here, y'all. I'm gone.